appeal allowed Fani Willis to stay on the case on condition her former boyfriend Nathan Wade stepped down. But the defense argues that's not enough.
Fox's Jonathan Seri in Atlanta.
Legal analysts say this is a big win for the defense because it keeps the focus on Willis and further delays the prosecution because the first of two terms in which the busy appeals court could take up the issue does not begin until August.
Willis had hoped to begin the trial in August. That appeal advancing a day after a federal judge indefinitely delayed a classified documents case against the former president. Meantime, his New York criminal trial involving hush money payments has a day off today, with Stormy Daniels back on the stand tomorrow for a continued cross-examination. President Biden's back on the road trying to boost support for his economic agenda in Wisconsin first before heading to Chicago. Talks continue in Cairo on a potential ceasefire for Gaza.
The Biden administration still believes gaps between Hamas and Israel and proposals to pause fighting and free hostages can be closed and a deal reached.
We're going to continue to support that process, and that's where we are right now. It is a top priority for this president.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre updating reporters aboard Air Force One. Israel's military, meantime, reopened a crossing in the Gaza used for humanitarian relief, closed over the weekend when a Hamas rocket attack killed 4 Israeli soldiers nearby.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. The U.S. delaying shipment of bombs to Israel over concern about a major offensive planned for Rafah. But officials say it's not anything included in the recent supplemental aid package. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey guys, don't be that dad without life insurance. When thanks to Ethos, you can be that great dad with keep his family living exactly like they do now. Secure and protected in the event of the unexpected. With a fast and easy online experience, some policies as low as $1 a day and up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Ethos makes getting life insurance protection hassle-free. E for easy, E for ethos at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We have a very juicy atmosphere as we continue through this Wednesday. We'll continue to see periods of rain and thunderstorms, some strong to severe, large hail damaging winds, and the possibility of large-scale tornadoes as we go into the evening. Most of the action should be gone by about 9 o'clock tonight. Clearing skies late tonight, 55. Thursday, sunny, windy, 72. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Point Pest Control, my best friends forever. They got rid of the spiders in my house. It's really all it takes. If you would like to be my best friend and you see a spider on me, kill it. I just don't like spiders. That's why I called Point Pest Control. It literally is the reason why I call Point Pest Control. We found a couple of wolf spiders in our basement, like at the same time as 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. You pick up the phone and you say, I got spiders. I want them gone, dead, bye. End them. And then they come to your house and they do that. They're a lot nicer about it than I am towards the spiders, but that's okay. The job gets done one way or the other. If you're dealing with ants, spiders, crickets, mice, if you have termites, so hopefully you don't, but in the case you do, you need to get to that right away. Point Pest Control will help you with that also. Call them, get Premier Service plan that I subscribe to as well. It's a quarterly service. Keep the bugs out. You don't have to worry about it. 636-798-0023. Point with an E. PointPestControl.com.
If you had a crystal ball, you wouldn't agonize over when to sell your home. You just ask, should I sell while my home's value is sky high? Or wait and hope the bottom doesn't drop out of the housing market? The thing is, I'm not ready to move. You don't need a crystal ball with Truehold's Sell and Stay program. You can literally sell now and stay in your home as long as you like. When you sell your home to Truehold for its best current value, you can fully cash out your home's equity. And you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Truehold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance too. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get an offer now while your home's value is sky high and use the money to secure your retirement, pay off bills, or finance your dreams. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's current best value without moving. That's Truehold.com. Go to Truehold.com now. That's Truehold.com.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
Download the free Upside app and earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Oh, welcome. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Annie Fry. The Manny Fry Show today under some gloomy skies in St. Louis. Dave Murray's going to join us this hour. We're going to recap what you need to know about the weather and what's moving in. Hello, guys. It's the Manny Fry Show. I have fun when I get asked to do this, so I'm looking forward to today.
Absolutely, Ryan. Brad and I in studio, so we are taking over for Manny today.
We've got the windows open and an eye on the sky. Everybody, please pay attention. We'll keep you updated as things come into us. We'll be sure to relay any new information to you.
Yeah. And you need to say eye in the sky like a old-timey broadcaster. Eye in the sky. Like you're up in the traffic cam. So what is it? Super gloomy right now? Is that what it looks like?
It's bad. I mean, we're downtown St. Louis, so we can see that it's coming. But right now, if you're in Washington, Missouri, for instance, or St. Clair, Sullivan, you're getting it. Chesterfield, look out. It's coming your way. Eureka, it's probably just starting there. So it's coming in from the south, kind of up 44, but a little bit south of that even.
It's giving them the business. So what is the YouTube poll for today?
Today's YouTube live chat poll is, are the Beatles overrated? We want to know if you guys think the Beatles are overrated. Ryan, do you have a...
Here's the thing. We talked over many different poll ideas today because Annie's out, so we're kind of leading things here. So we talked about a whole bunch of different news items that all of us were kind of interested in, but everybody kept circling back to, no, I could really fight you on the Beatles. So we chose to go with the Beatles. It's a little less newsy, but the chat's a hopping today, so let us know what you think.
Wait, are there actually people that believe the Beatles are overrated? That's a thing?
That is a real thing.
That is a real thing, and those are real people.
It doesn't
Some
exist.
of those people are in the studio, and I don't love them.
What? Wiggins?
No, it's not me. No.
Oh.
I love me. I don't love when people say that the Beatles are overrated, and one of those people is standing right in front of me. So
wow, that is such a stance to take. Brave stance.
Yeah.
I don't know. You may be in the super minority here.
Well, we'll see what the poll says.
I know. I'm interested to see because the chat's really debating this.
Yeah, I mean the chat's split. I don't actually have the numbers in front of me, but based on the comments, the chat's split. This isn't a foregone conclusion. And the thing about it for me is like there are some Beatles songs that I like, but there are some Beatles songs, and I would say probably 55 to 60% of the Beatles songs and albums, I'm just like, take it or leave it. And then some of them are like, I'm not listening to this because I'm not tripping on acid right now, so I'm just not going to listen to this nonsense.
Ooh, boy, Brad, I think you're going to come out way in the minority on this
I
one.
can
So
take it.
go vote in the YouTube poll now as we speak. We're watching also the status of former President Donald Trump's criminal cases. The big news yesterday is that one of those cases are going to be on hold indefinitely. The classified documents case, a judge ruling that they're going to delay the start of that, and it most likely will not be this year. So that is a pretty big ruling, and that's on top of some of the other cases against him. One's in progress now in New York. They're calling it the hush money trial. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but I think that's just how people are trying to, sum it up. January 6th is on hold. Supreme Court is then reviewing the immunity claims of what a president has and what a president does not have. And election interference in Georgia, possible delay because the shenanigans that went on the prosecutor's side. And we're learning more and more about even more shenanigans that are going on the prosecution side. So that is on delay. That's quite the lineup right there for one person to be involved in so many trials at any given time. Can I mention one thing I noticed yesterday about the classified documents case when we were covering this? And I do news here in Detroit. I work for an all news station. And what sometimes happens is when it comes to the national stories, they'll just take CBS News and they'll just read the CBS News thing. And I noticed they added a real interesting byline in the CBS News coverage of this. They wanted to make sure it was very clear that the judge in that case was appointed during the Trump administration. So they give the impression the only reason this is being delayed is because the person has preferential treatment because Donald Trump helped that judge get there in the first place. They imply that in the story, and I thought, wow, you don't do that with any other story. If let's say the Biden administration.
The National Weather Service in St. Louis has issued a tornado warning for Jefferson County, northeastern Washington County, southeastern Franklin County until 1 p.m. At 12:10 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Rich Woods, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Expected hazards include tornado and baseball-size hail. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Richwoods around 12:15 p.m. Hillsborough around 12:30 p.m. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include DeSoto, Festus, Pevely, Herculaneum, Horn, and Crystal City. This also includes Washington State Park, Mastodon Historic Site, Sandy Creek Covered Bridge Historic Site, and Gov. Dunklin's Grave Historic Site. This includes Interstate 55 in Missouri between exits 170 and 187. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris.
On this radar right now, if you are in St. Clair, Sullivan, even Washington, Missouri, this is where I don't need to tell you, you're right in the middle of it. You know it. But if you're in Eureka, Merrimack, Pacific, Imperial, and then further south from kind of the Mississippi down to Pevely, Festus, it is headed your way. It's probably started to rain where you're at, but the severe thunderstorms, and of course, we're watching for tornadoes and circulation, that's coming your way too. So if you are south of, let's say, 44, that's where you need to really be watching right now. But the whole St. Louis area, the rain's coming if it isn't already with you right now.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking at the National Weather Service now. So is that what they're talking about? Tornado warning issued for Jefferson County, northeastern Washington County, and southeastern Franklin County until 1 o'clock.
Flash flood warnings,
Flash floods warnings.
Yeah, severe thunderstorm warnings, all sorts of things.
Right. That's a lot of severe weather. We just had that come through yesterday in Michigan. That FedEx facility had people trapped inside when a tornado came through in Michigan yesterday. I don't know if you saw that headline. My goodness. So whenever there is severe weather, the National Weather Service, they have this ability to alert the public. Us being a public radio station in that sense, licensed through the FCC, have that obligation to bring you that information, and that's what you heard there from the National Weather Service. So luckily we have Dave Murray coming on in about 10 minutes, right? So we'll get another rundown from him. He'll give us a better idea. And what's good about Dave Murray, he's so fluent in looking at the weather radars. He'll tell us like, oh, this is going to be here in about 20 minutes, 10 minutes. He'll kind of give you a track on where some of these storms are heading. So
yeah. And by the way, I mentioned, if you're south, that's where the major stuff is. But that doesn't mean, if you're in Warrenton right now, Lake St. Louis, it's headed your way. Troy is even getting a little bit. Really, if you're not getting rain right now, you're going to get rain. It's just a matter of how severe it's going to be because the really, really heavy stuff is a little bit south of St. Louis. If you're in Illinois, I think Waterloo probably and Columbia is going to be in the path of this stuff, but it's not there yet. It's just moved through places like St. Genevieve. The initial stuff, there's more to come. But Festus, you guys are all just brace for it because it's coming your way.
Yep. Where did we leave off? Because I don't hear the alerts on my side when I'm filling in because I don't actually hear the weather alerts. It only goes through on the air.
We were talking about Judge Cannon delaying the Trump trial, the documents trial indefinitely.
Right. And I was kind of mentioning how I noticed the way the coverage was a little biased when that news broke yesterday. I'll just kind of reiterate just briefly, but on the CBS coverage, they made it very clear, hey, the judge involved in this case that is going to delay the ruling when it comes to the classified documents, delay the case for the pretrial motions. They mentioned it very clear, hey, this judge was appointed by the Trump administration, giving the impression that the only reason why the judge acted in the way they acted is because they have some sort of preferential treatment because the person, because he owes it, is it a she? I think it's a female judge, owes it to Donald Trump. And I read that and I thought, man, they never do that with any other case. They never say liberal Supreme Court.
Right.
They never say liberal judge, liberal this, liberal that. In fact, you have a gag order put in place if you even suggest that there's any treatment for money that goes into the judge's daughter's hands. And Donald Trump said, hey, wait a minute. You're talking about liberal operatives that worked against me are on this trial right now, and he gets gag order. You're not allowed to bring that up. And then the actual official way that CBS handles this, oh, no. Actually, everyone needs to know that this judge was put in place, implying that there is preferential treatment to Donald Trump, and that's the reason they ruled the way they did.
Yeah, if you're going to be fair. Now, you could be fair and say this is a Trump-appointed judge, but also in the other cases, then you need to say Letitia James, Attorney General of New York, who campaigned on bringing Trump down through legal means before she knew there was a crime, is the one handling this case. You got to say all those things, and they don't really do that.
Or, okay, this judge or this prosecutor, actively gave money to the campaign against Donald Trump or these politicians. Or, hey, and they actually have family members that were operatives that were designed and paid to specifically bring down Donald Trump. They don't, things like that, they can't be bothered to mention because if you do mention something like that, oh boy, you're just basically handing the case to Donald Trump if you report that sort of thing. But on the other end, oh boy, we got to put that in every single news story, but they don't do it the other way around. And I noticed these biases in the way that they report it. And it's very clear. And it seems like the biggest biases that you start to see is the way that they treat the court. And if they say, oh, the Supreme Court is compromised and, oh, the degradation of the legal system, this and that, they bring this up only in a way to show that they don't have the control they've had the past 40 years. So all of a sudden, it's everything's gone to crap.
Yeah, it's actually pretty amazing because we've been following this, these trials, they kind of move from being, we're focusing on this one. Okay, now it's this one. So now this is the Alvin Bragg case and the Stormy Daniels thing of big deal this week. But all the news that's come out since Stormy's testimony yesterday has been about the other cases. And Ryan, you were talking about this, that, the documents case is a big deal today because that's been delayed. We talked about a little bit of the Jack Smith, the January 6th stuff. The Georgia appeals court grants Trump's request to consider Fani Willis's disqualification from his criminal case. So that's that's Georgia. All the news has been about the other cases in the midst of this case.
Yeah. Oh, boy, we're going to have Dave Murray coming on here in a few minutes, and I keep watching. Probably the biggest alert is that tornado warning south of St. Louis. It looks like it's going to be near Hillsboro around 12:30, so that's about 10 minutes away, and the National Weather Service is tracking that. How about we get the very latest from Dave Murray and the problems that are coming in just in the next couple of minutes. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Andy Fry on 97.1 FM Talk.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Retirement Advisory Group is having another Protecting Your Retirement educational event, and I want you to come. Are you going to be there? When you go online to retirementkey.com, you are going to have access to sign up for the May 16th, it's a Thursday this time, event at the Frontenac Hilton. And when you sign up for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event, you are going to, for free, get to listen to Thomas Helbig and Bob and Tammy Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group explain what it is that you need to do to make those maneuvers to enjoy that worry-free retirement. I'm going to get there. Mark Cox, Mark Reardon will be there as well, starting at about 6 o'clock. And we just get to spend about 30 minutes meeting you guys and learning your names and getting to know you a little bit. And at 6:30, we turn it over to the Retirement Advisory Group folks, and they spend about 45 minutes talking to you. It's not a long night. It's free. It's great information. And all you have to do is go online to sign up and reserve your spot today. Find the Retirement Advisory Group and Thomas Helbig for the May 16th Frontenac Hilton event at retirementkey.com.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Sunday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, we're watching this weather for you, and the Weather Authority here on 97.1 is on the phone. We're going to talk to him in just a second with Dave Murray, so stick around. It's 12:24. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's Pick Your Ticket time on The Mark Reardon Show. Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago. Train and REO. The Doobie Brothers. Need to Breathe. And OAR. Listen to win and then pick your show. Pick your ticket on The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
Hey, pretty mama, I can smell the gumbo. Sweetest taste of honeysuckle on my lips.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Oh boy, some pretty nasty weather coming through here. If you're south of St. Louis, it seems to be the worst of it. A tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service for Jefferson County, northeastern Washington County, southeastern Franklin County. And it looks like that storm's about to hit Hillsborough here pretty soon. Joining us live now to discuss these storms and give us an idea of what we can expect across the state in St. Louis. Dave Murray, thanks for coming on to 97.1.
You got it. This is it's one thunderstorm in particular that we've been watching here for the last hour and a half. And that's the one cell, and it is basically just crossing Highway 47. It is to the south of Highway 30. So it's right in the southeast corner of Franklin County. That's the most intense part of it. And there is what we call a notch in the radar. One of the signatures we look for possible tornadoes is a notching that takes place. And the key here is that cell is moving just about due east. So if you live in Hillsborough, DeSoto, Festus, Peevely, Barnhart, Cedar Hill, and let's throw in Imperial too, that cell is going to come, if not right over you, it's going to be very, very close. So yes, there have been some signatures. We have not gotten any ground truth as far as a tornado on the ground, but boy, the Doppler indicator is pretty intense. The other thing is the hail is massive. We have seen tennis ball size hail. I still think there's probably been some baseball size hail in this cell, and that hail is primarily in the southeast corner of Franklin County right now, moving towards Cedar Hill and Hillsborough. Now, anything larger than golf ball size can cause some tremendous damage in a very short period of time. So that's one of the other major threats. High wind, also the other one. So wind gusts of 70-plus miles per hour, along with torrential rain, flash flooding on the small streams and creeks, also ponding on the highways. It's blinding rain. So you probably will have real trouble driving if you get under this particular cell. And the lightning is also incredible. But the main feature is the hail more than anything else. Yes, I've got a couple of reports here that of radar indicated tornadoes, and that's something we obviously have to be concerned about. But the hail in this system is much more widespread than the risk of tornadoes. But there is a solid risk of tornadoes, too. There is another cell right behind that. It is pushing towards Sullivan right now that got hammered about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. That's not quite as severe. So what we're going to be watching as we go through the afternoon is how much of this will the atmosphere get drained, how much of it will go stable, and then how much will it take to go unstable again. We have a lot of daylight left in front of us, and I still think the prime time for the St. Louis area is the window of 2 p.m. to it's not forming that whole time, but that's the window of opportunity as more storms redevelop in a very juicy atmosphere. So even though this one particular, really, let's call it two, will go by here in the next, it passed just to the south of St. Louis in the next hour, hour and a half, there is still a lot more action to come. As I always stress in severe weather, not everybody's going to see it. In fact, there's people who are living in St. Louis County going, Dave, I got nothing. I got nothing going on. But, boy, if you look off to the south, southwest, you see that thing. You see the towering clouds. You see the darkness of the atmosphere. So this is an afternoon to really kind of pay attention to the sky and stay up to on the weather.
Wow. And when you talk, something I always wondered, is it better that the storms move fast and out, or if they're faster, it means they're more furious? Because I noticed it's moving at about 25 miles an hour. That seems pretty slow.
That is pretty slow. Typically, we get some of these big storms that are moving, 45, 50, even 60 miles per hour. It's kind of a two-edged sword. The faster the storm moves, the more spin you can possibly have in it, and that it does. It moves in and out very quickly. The slower it moves, the more hail you're going to get out of the storm, the more flash flooding you're going to get out of the storm because it's slower moving. It can dump a lot of rain, and we're talking 2 to 5 inches of rain in a very short period of time if you're underneath one of these real severe cells. So it's kind of which one's better? Toss the coin, really.
Dave, you kind of broke up when you were talking about when we could rest about this. At what point is it this evening that everything will be through? At what point can we kind of take our eyes off it?
Yeah, I think I may be pushing it a little too much, but I still like the 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. window, and the 9 p.m. may be off to our east at that, but that's still the window of major opportunity, more of a widespread event than these small supercells, though they're supercells. that we're seeing right now. It'll be more of a widespread event as we go through the mid to late afternoon and early evening, and it will be a question of how fast can the atmosphere recharge.
So we're talking about watching for severe weather through 9 o'clock, or is this just it'll rain through about 9?
No, we're talking severe weather through 9 o'clock. Again, not for everybody. Not everybody is going to see it, but that's the window of opportunity.
Wow. So that tornado warning remains in effect till 1 o'clock, but it doesn't mean you're out of the woods at 1 o'clock. You're going to be in the woods really for the rest of the afternoon and evening. It sounds like most of these afternoon activities will probably be canceled tonight too. So if you had any plans, you may want to start watching your emails because you might start getting some notifications that they've been held off out of the abundance of caution. Okay, so that scares me with these baseball-sized hail, giant pieces of hail, because that's what St. Louis needs. You know, another storm that damages your roofs and your cars. It seems like we get about one of these a year now.
Yeah, and this particular year, we've had a couple of them, and this will be another one. We anticipated that April would be a vicious, severe weather month for us, and obviously we're now into the first full week of May, and it's slopping over a little bit. But hopefully, as this cell comes by, that not to say we're not going to see more thunderstorms in May, but I think the atmosphere will calm down as we go through the mid to end of May and start to relax just a little bit.
Dave, we've seen a ton of rain in St. Louis over the last few weeks. You're saying this system's going to stick around long enough that we're going to see even more drenching of the ground, I guess.
Yes, no question. If you get under these severe storms, which a lot of us will, again, to this cell that is pushing towards DeSoto and Hillsborough is dropping 2 to 5 inches of rain in about 30 minutes. And that's that. You know, nothing can really handle that. So there's going to be some flooding that takes place in that.
Can I ask a stupid question? So we just had this line of storms come through the last couple of days through the Midwest, and it had hail. Like I'm here in Michigan, and there were tornadoes and hailstorms in southwest Michigan just last night, and it was a pretty intense storm that came through. When you have these storms that are strong enough to produce hail and tornado winds and heavy rains, you would think that once a cell would suck everything out of the air, that there wouldn't be anything left for a second round of storms like this. Where does it even get enough strength to have 2 rounds of storms so close to each other in proximity?
What's going on, this has been a pattern that's been out in the plains for now about 10 days, is there is this huge trough of low pressure in the middle of the country. It's not getting pushed by anything, so it's kind of stuck out there, and then there's 2 impulses at a time coming across the plains into the Midwest. Cold fronts are coming down from the northwest, and impulses of low pressure are coming out of the southwest. It's like the perfect storm, and because there's no push in the atmosphere, that stuff has been stuck. So it generates storm after storm after storm, day after day after day. Why we are seeing it today is that we are now, and we saw it the other night, is that we're starting to get a push in the atmosphere. Everything is starting to get a little bit of a movement. So the stuff out in the plains is now coming over us, coming over all the way up to Michigan. That will in time move into the Ohio Valley and work its way all the way to the East Coast. But the atmosphere is moving once again, and that's the good news, is that once this stuff gets through, then we're going to see some rapidly improving weather like you would normally expect in thunderstorms. We're talking sunshine and 72 and low humidity tomorrow and 68 for the high on Friday. We could see some nighttime temperatures of 48, 49 degrees coming up.
All right, just to reiterate, tornado warning in effect until 1 o'clock for northeastern Washington, southeastern Franklin counties, Jefferson County. And we're looking at that line that's moving east. So it's south of St. Louis, DeSoto, Hillsborough, Festus, Olympian Village. These are the trouble areas you're watching right now that people need to take cover, right?
Right, yes. If you live in Cedar Hill, down to Hillsborough, down to DeSoto, over to Festus, Peevely, Barnhart, Imperial, Arnold, you're going to be really close. Burns Mill, there is definitely a hook echo and a notch that is taking place in the atmosphere. That is to the west of DeSoto and moving towards the Hillsborough-DeSoto line right along Highway 21. So that's a prime zone right now, and the prime zone for hail is going to be Hillsborough up through Cedar Hill Lakes and up through Cedar Hill. And we're talking very large hail.
Wow. Dave Murray, being able to bring you on like this, explain it. It's a great service for the listeners who are in that area. They know exactly where it's coming. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us here on
You got it.
97.1.
Anytime, you know that.
Great. And looking at the National Weather Service map, there's like 8 different alerts that are going on in St. Louis. There's so many different colors. Tornado warning, flash flood warning, severe weather statement, flood warning, tornado watch, severe thunderstorm watch, flood advisory, flood watch, hazardous weather outlook. All of these things are in our immediate area right now, so the weather is nasty. But you're actually looking out the windows in downtown St. Louis. Has it changed at all in the last 20 minutes?
No. Actually, it's
the same.
It must be moving that slowly.
Yeah, it's that pale, it's that pale, sickly color that the sky gets before storms come in is what we're looking at right now. Not green, but it's just like, there's severe weather in the area.
Plus, hook, echo, and a notch. I mean, these are things that we're watching for.
Those are
all these terms, of
I was
course.
gonna say, those are words that I've heard on a broadcast.
Those are things that they do in croquet, I think.
Can you turn the webcam to the window so some of our listeners on the YouTube can see? I'm kind of curious myself.
Let's just turn the webcam to the window, the outside window, so some of the people that are pooping in the park can see it.
Oh, wait, no. I want to see. I was hoping I could take
no.
a peek of what it looks out the window.
We'll
no?
see.
Does it
We'll
work?
see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you could just turn it to the side. Oh, I kind of see it, but it's so hard with the camera because it's so whitewashed with the buildings and it pretty much blocks out the sky.
Ryan, I've been getting, this is weird. I don't know that I've ever really heard of this, or if I have, it's been a long time. My wife's school is calling off early in the middle of the day because of this.
Oh, okay. So they're saying get home now?
Now, with snow, with extreme, ice, that's very common. I don't remember them calling off for thunderstorms.
Are they just worried that by the time it was pickup time for the kids that the weather was going to be so bad they wanted to prevent that?
And maybe that's it because, we are in Illinois. So if you're down in the cities we've been talking about, Union and Owensville and Sullivan and Hillsborough and so forth, you're getting it right now. And we don't know how long it's going to last because it sounds like it's moving really, really slowly. That maybe by the time it got to the other side of the river, that would be school let-out time. Maybe.
Yeah, and those poor kids got to walk off the bus, and that they don't want to have to deal with that. You don't want to be responsible for those kids that are walking home in a tornado warning zone. So I guess I can understand that. So what happens with the parents that can't come and get the kids?
Well, that's what we're scrambling to figure out right now. I think that's what a whole bunch of people, if this is happening, I don't know if this is other schools are doing this. My guess is that it is. Because we go to a little private school that usually just takes cues from the bigger ones, and whatever they're doing is what we do. But if that's happening all over the place, then there's a whole lot of parents in the car right now going, "Oh, gotta leave. I gotta go figure out what to do."
I was gonna say there's parents scrambling.
Mm-hmm.
Private school, oh, fancy. That you just get your butler to pick them up, right?
That's what we do. Yeah. Well, and he always brings Grey Poupon, which is cool, but he doesnst bring sandwiches, which is uncool. But
little
this
cucumber sandwiches.
No, my wife teaches at that school, so of course they go there.
Okay,
but yeah, I think there's a lot of. My guess is that there are a lot of schools that are either doing this right now or considering doing this. And I'm going to look that up. Actually, I'm in broadcast media. I should probably find out. Not
your
just
wife,
get
since
my
she
text.
works there,
Yeah.
She has like a rolling suitcase and she sneaks them in every morning to try to save a little bit on tuition.
Yeah, just listen to what the professors are saying, but don't make yourself known.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, professors, they're young kids. That's a private school perk, right? You get professors teaching.
Well, yeah, we call them professors.
Grade.
Yeah. The professors for first and second grade.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on this weather, and just to reiterate, let's make sure everyone knows, if you are south of St. Louis right now, that's where the worst of it is. A tornado warning remains in effect for the next 20 minutes or so. This is in Jefferson, northeastern Washington, southeastern Franklin counties. And it seems like the line, this is going DeSoto, Hillsborough, Festus, Olympian Village. So it's moving due east, and you just heard from Dave Murray. We'll continue to watch these severe storms that are moving through the area and bring you the very latest on it. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Andy Fry. Got one of my favorite segments coming up right after the break. Wiggins America on 97.1 FM Talk.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Good God Almighty, I can hear the trombone. Every heart ought to beat to a rhythm like this. Come a little closer, honey, let me hold you. Nothing tastes better than a bourbon kiss. You can be the flower on my magnolia. Every heart ought to beat to a rhythm like this.
Hey, if you're looking for something perfect for mom this holiday season, Mother's Day is right around the corner. You need to check out the Diamond Shop. They've been in Clayton, Missouri for quite some time, in St. Louis since 1910, and they have a special opportunity for you to save, and it's not too late to get into the Diamond Shop and make the savings possible for you. Their Mother's Day sale, now through Mother's Day, which is May 12th, 40% off all in-stock jewelry. You got to go in and shop and see what they have available for you and save 40%. That's a fantastic discount right now. Plus, become a VIP online at thediamondshop.net, and you are going to save extra. VIP free mom heart pendant with jewelry purchase. So go make that purchase and save 40%. Get that VIP heart pendant, and that's 2 gifts, folks. You see where I'm going with this. I trust the Diamond Shop with my jewelry purchases, and I know that my family has as well. And I hope that you'll give them the chance to earn your business. Learn all about them online at thediamondshop.net.
Guys, you know summer is just around the corner. Get yourself in shape now. Let my friends at Victory Men's Health help you. Mark Cox here. You know Victory is offering semaglutide, approved by the FDA for overweight adults. It's a game changer. On average, people are losing up to 15% of their body weight. Be sure and visit my friends at Victory Men's Health in Wing Haven, their newest location in Sunset Hills. They're also in Town and Country and in O'Fallon, Illinois. Go online today. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
Whether this is her first Mother's Day or her 40th, she deserves more. Shop tons of stunning on-trend jewelry for every budget at Diamonds Direct. Diamond fashion jewelry, beautiful birthstones, everyday pearls starting at just $200. Commemorate the real loves of her life with a gorgeous pendant featuring the birthstone of the one who made her mom. This Mother's Day, Diamonds Direct is everything you need to say thank you. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. Spring is a great time for tree maintenance and removal. At Hansen's Tree Service,
office, we have a full staff of certified arborists that can help you with everything you need when it comes to tree care. Get ahead of spring storms and check us out at hansonstree.com.
Man, if you are between Sullivan and Hillsborough, you are just getting mauled over the last hour. So we're keeping an eye on this. Of course, Peevely, Festus, Imperial, it's coming to you next. DeSoto, it's already there. Eureka's probably getting just the top of it. Again, we're keeping an eye on the weather. Keep it here, and we'll keep updating you. The poll today has absolutely nothing to do with that. It's just something that we were arguing about in the office. Are the Beatles overrated? Yes or no? We would like to know what you think about this, and it's a lot more heated than we thought it was going to be all one-sided. It's not. That's the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll today. Wiggins America coming up next. It is 12:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Are you a business owner? Do you want your voice and the voices of your clients represented? Let us do the talking. Join our community of free thinkers on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Learn more at 971talk.com/partner.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
And you just heard that with Ryan Wiggins. Tornado warning remains in effect for the next 15 minutes or so. National Weather Service watching this. And with those storms, you could even get baseball-sized hail reported already west of Hillsborough. So that hail is out there. Flying debris. That happened here in Michigan yesterday. Flying debris broke a lady's leg. I mean, that's no joke. Tree damage is likely. Power outages probably when you get winds like this. So locations impacted: Festus, DeSoto, Crystal City, Hillsborough, let's see, Cedar Hill Lakes. So it's moving east, and it's just a trail that you don't want to mess with when there's a tornado warning. So if you're in that path, take cover, stay inside, be safe. One other thing you mentioned, Annie Fry is looking for some recommendations out in D.C. What's this going on with this scavenger hunt?
So she's out in D.C. with her son's 8th grade class, and they're, doing the 8th grade class trip to Washington, D.C., but she wants everybody to give her photo scavenger hunt ideas. So basically, you can put them in the chat with your name, or you can tweet at her at Annie Fry Show, and she will take a picture of it, and she'll write your name on the picture if she finds it. I'll give you guys a great example. Will Scharf was in here yesterday, and he said you should take a picture of a fire alarm in the Capitol building.
The one that Jamal
Yeah.
Is it Bowman?
Bowman.
The one that he pulled would be ideal, but really any will do.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so any recommendation there, put in the YouTube chat. I'll think of some too, because this could be fun. All right, this is one of my favorite segments that happen every show. Wiggins!
Oh, Wiggins! All right, what I have here is a Hill article talking about 5 different twists that could shake up the election before November. Now, if we're analyzing these and we're saying these are possible, then I have to question whether or not they're twists. Because usually a twist is something that you had no idea was coming, an October surprise. But these are all things that are, I guess, on the radar, not to use the pun today, but things that could happen, but likely will not happen. I want to see whether you think that they are possible and what they would do to the race, Ryan Recker and Brad Range.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the first one. Health concerns force Biden or Trump from the race. This one is talked over quite a bit.
Yes.
But it is a possibility that one of them would have to leave the race.
Yeah.
At that, do you think that that's a probability? Like, what's the probability?
Well,
and then B, what would happen?
Yeah, I would look at this, and I will say this, and I'm not rooting for this to happen or anything like that, so please don't hear me say that. But both men are in that age range where they could go to sleep one night, and that's just it. They just don't wake up the next day. And I know, yeah, Ryan, you say, wow, it's kind of a scary thing to think about, but I think more than any other politician or more than any other racing we've had in the past, this is more likely just because of the advanced age of the two candidates.
Ooh, during the last election, I don't know what I put the odds at of Biden finishing his presidency, but I put the odds pretty low. I didn't think he'd make it this far, honestly. So I think even going further, let's say he is reelected, I think the odds are so low that he's able to finish the presidency. I just don't see it. And I know that's a factor with a lot of different people. Jon Stewart just had a great commentary about it on his Netflix special. I was reading some of the quotes from it, and I think people realize it, but I think Democrats are afraid to say it out loud. I think Donald Trump, for his age, is in a lot better shape than Joe Biden. Not to say that Donald Trump is young, but I got to be honest, the amount of energy that dude has for his age is pretty remarkable, all things considered. And if you were to just zoom out and compare where Biden was at the same age as Trump, it's not even close when it comes to their capabilities, at their not only cognitive but physical abilities. And that's saying a lot because Donald Trump's in terrible shape. His body doesn't look great, but he's able to do everything he needs to do. So I think it could play a factor with Joe Biden. Absolutely.
I don't know if this helps, but in February, Biden's physician wrote, following a physical exam of the president, that he is, quote, fit for duty and does not have any new health concerns.
Remember when the media, like, they honked on Donald Trump over and over when his physician said basically the same thing, and they're like, wow, what a bunch of liars. Did anyone call out that physician yet?
Well, Trump's physician released a letter in November saying he is in, quote, excellent health. His labs were within normal health limits, and his cognitive, this is the best one, his cognitive exams were exceptional.
Great.
So
make sure to put that in there because contrast to Joe Biden, I don't think, they mention the cognitive?
They did not mention the cognitive. It was a little more broad, just said fit for duty. So I think that one thing that we learned from the COVID era is that you can always trust physicians no matter what.
Remember, too, when they said that Donald Trump should take the cognitive test and we can all see the results?
They did say that.
What do you think would happen if Joe Biden took that honestly?
I don't think that he would take it honestly. I think that there would be a little bit of a stacking of the deck if that were to happen.
Yeah, and this is well beyond conspiracy theory level. His cognitive ability, it's well beyond conspiracy theory. It is reality today, and I think that the sooner that most people recognize and address this sort of thing, the better off they are. I think the best play the Democrats can do right now is say, even so, we don't care. I mean, you just got to be honest.
I don't know, Wrecker. I just trust the doctor who says he's fine. Next one is a wider international conflict breaks out. What do you think the likelihood of that happening is? And then what would it do based on where it is?
So like China gets really upset, TikTok's banned, so it starts a war with Taiwan or something?
Well, I mean, that is one, maybe not because of TikTok, but that is one possibility that China would attack Taiwan. But it just says a wider international conflict breaks out. So this could encompass more of the Middle East, and it goes beyond Israel, Gaza. They've already been, there's been some Hezbollah out of Lebanon already firing some missiles, so that could happen. It could go wider than Ukraine. Everybody's saying, NATO and all this stuff. I don't think that's likely, but that's what they're hinting at is one of those three areas.
Yeah. It's so interesting because if you go back to any presidency before Obama, they always like to throw a little war in there during the election because it helped the incumbent, during in the middle of this. So in the cases of like George W. Bush, okay, you don't want to change horse in the middle of a conflict or a war. Clinton or any of these, you think about how that tactic has been used over and over again over the years. It's kind of the opposite now. So I think people in the Democrats will resent Joe Biden. If something else happens and they get involved, it's going to be a big loser for him.
I agree.
So really, could something else happen? I mean, there's a possibility, but it's, ultimately going to work against Joe Biden in this reelection.
Yeah, no matter what happens, if it is an escalation of any kind, I would agree with you, Wrecker, that it is going to be worse for Joe Biden because he looks like he just can't handle these things. And plus, you have the compare and contrast of a guy who had no new wars for 4 years and a guy who has multiple. Now, the third one is RFK Jr. or other third-party candidates gain more traction. What do you think the possibility of that is?
That's going to be a hard one to anticipate, but then I was surprised by Indiana's primary, and Nikki Haley got like 22% of the Republican vote. So let's just say we'll use that as the test. Let's say RFK gets 20% of the vote. What does that do? Is it going to take it from Democrats or Republicans? And that was the Republican primary, so that took it just from them. What happens in situations like that? Yeah, that could play a pretty big factor in this time.
It could. I'll just put on the record that I think that it's going to diminish. Right now, he's not even on most ballots. I think he's on in 2 states, last I checked. So he's got to get on in more states for it to be even an issue at all. And then if he does, how much will he pull? I think that's going to become less and less the closer we get to the election. Number 4 is economy experiences a downturn or recession.
I think that's highly likely.
Between now and November.
Yes, I think that's highly likely.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they're not lowering interest rates. They're realizing that inflation's going back up, not down. So what you're going to find is that through the summer, they've been told, oh, you know what, if you can't afford this or that, just wait till next summer when inflation's down, things will be getting better. And things are not better right before the election. All signs are indicating they're not getting better. So, yeah, that could play a factor, and it's definitely going to hurt Joe Biden.
Whether it goes into recession or not before November, I don't know. And of course, they're going to change their definition of recession no matter what happens anyway. But I do think that it's not going to get any better before then. So it will play a factor. Last one here with a minute left. Trump is convicted or acquitted in the New York case. Really, you could apply this to any of them.
Acquitted meaning that Democrats will use that as a rallying cry?
Convicted or acquitted.
It doesn't matter.
Either way.
Something comes out before.
Yeah, something happens in one of these cases.
Honestly, I think the trials are starting, it's not a net wash for him. I think it's starting to be a positive for him, which is kind of a crazy thing to say out loud. I think the worst thing that can happen for Donald Trump is if he comes out and says the Beatles were overrated. And if he does that could really hurt his chances.
I think he wins.
Brad. It's very unpopular.
Landslide.
Very unpopular.
I think he wins on a landslide.
The man speaks truth.
All right. That's the YouTube poll, by the way, which you can go vote for right now. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Andy Fry. Deroy Murdock coming up right after the break. 97.1 FM Talk.
Saving on windows at Window World is as simple as shopping at Window World because they care deeply about making sure that you get quality at a great price. That's why they say simply the best for less. Call 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800 and talk to them about replacement windows that are so durable. They can stand behind their window at the showroom. They actually stand on top of the window. They care about quality. They're not going to sell you some, crap window or whatever so you can save. You get a great quality window at a great price. And the other thing that they do that is really important to me, they're not going to
The National Weather Service in St. Louis has issued a tornado warning for Monroe County in southwestern Illinois, northwestern Randolph County in southwestern Illinois, southeastern Jefferson County, north central St. Genevieve County in southeastern Missouri until 1:45 p.m. At 12:56 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Olympian Village, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Expected hazards include tornado and tennis ball-size hail. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Crystal City and Olympian Village around 1 p.m. This also includes Sandy Creek Covered Bridge Historic Site and Gov. Dunklin's Grave Historic Site. This includes Interstate 55 in Missouri between exits 170 and 180. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris.
(92228) 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Contrast on the campaign trail. Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden in a battleground state.
We've created over 178,000 jobs in Wisconsin. We're going to create more here in Racine, and big time.
Highlighting Microsoft's decision to invest billions in a new data center on a site that was once part of a Foxconn plan touted by the Trump administration. The president speaking at Gateway Technical College.
Folks are getting trained in new, high-paying, high-skilled jobs that don't require a four-year college degree and don't require you to leave home.
He's also campaigning today in Chicago. Most polls, though, still giving him low ratings on the economy. It's a day off at the former president's criminal trial in New York. Earlier, the Georgia Court of Appeals agreeing to review a ruling that allowed DA Fani Willis to continue leading an election interference case. The advancing appeal could delay that trial until after the November election. The Biden administration facing more questions about delaying delivery of some weapons to Israel.
A single shipment of high-capacity precision bombs are on hold as the Biden administration reviews Israel's plans for a major operation in Rafah in southern Gaza.
We've been very clear, Senator, as you know, from the very beginning that Israel shouldn't launch a major attack into Rafah without accounting for and protecting the civilians that are in that battle space.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin telling a Senate panel no final decision on the weapons shipment has been made, and the U.S. commitment to Israel's security remains ironclad.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. Earlier today, police clearing what George Washington University calls an illegal encampment on campus. D.C. Metro Police arresting more than 30 pro-Palestinian protesters on charges including assault on a police officer. America is listening to Fox News.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We have a very juicy atmosphere as we continue through this Wednesday. We'll continue to see periods of rain and thunderstorms, some strong to severe, large hail damaging winds, and the possibility of large-scale tornadoes as we go into the evening. Most of the action should be gone by about 9 o'clock tonight. Clearing skies late tonight, 55. Thursday, sunny, windy, 72. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This is Ryan Wiggins from Wiggins America and the Annie Fry Show, and I was born with CF. May is Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month, so I'm glad to assist in helping find a cure for this terrible disease. Register to walk in the Gateway Chapter Great Strides on May 18th at 971talk.com/care.
Saving on windows at Window World is as simple as shopping at Window World because they care deeply about making sure that you get quality at a great price. That's why they say simply the best for less. Call 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800 and talk to them about replacement windows that are so durable. They can stand behind their window at the showroom. They actually stand on top of the window. They care about quality. They're not going to sell you some, crap window or whatever so you can save. You get a great quality window at a great price. And the other thing that they do that is really important to me, they're not going to put you through the rigmarole, the high pressure situation to try to make you feel like you have to buy the window in order to get them out of your house. They don't do that. They know other people do it and other people hate it. That's not what happens at Window World. Enjoy a lifetime warranty that doesn't just cover parts and glass breakage. Of course it does. They also include labor. Check the lifetime warranty on other windows and see if they include labor. A lot of them don't. 314-993-1800. You can find them online right now by visiting them at windowworld.com.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life.
More than 11 years ago, we set out to help women right here in St. Louis. Today, Coalition Life celebrates more than 3,500 clients served and thousands of lives saved since we began this mission with you. Each one is a miracle. Over the years, day in and day out, our team has walked alongside women facing the fear and challenges of an unexpected pregnancy. Through the support of this community, we have given them hope and a path to choose life for the children they carry. Our work at Coalition Life continues, and we need your support more than ever in a post-Roe v. Wade world. Whether you join us as a volunteer, an employee, or a donor, know that you have a special impact to make for these precious children. Visit coalitionlife.com to give your vital support while reducing or completely eliminating your state taxes through Missouri's 70% tax credit. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Thursday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seating is limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you close to retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned about more market volatility the closer we get to the election? Would you like to know how linking to the market is smarter and safer than owning the market? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any losses and provide more income than your current plan? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect that retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Thursday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Dell's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
And I'm Ryan Recker filling in for Annie Fry. And as you know, you probably have figured this out if you have a window near you. Bad storms coming through. A tornado warning still in effect on the Missouri side, southeastern Jefferson County, and also north central St. Genevieve County. And then on the Illinois side, Monroe County, northwestern Randolph County. And at last check, the severe weather was moving through Olympian Village, moving about 35 miles an hour. And this thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado. That's why it's a tornado warning. So if you're in that path in those counties, take cover. Do not take this lightly. You don't want to mess around when something comes down. That kind of rhymed. But this storm will be near Crystal City and Olympian Village right about now, a little past now. So stay tuned to hear. We'll let you know if there's any changes to that. But that tornado warning now, and those areas have been extended until 1:45. Very serious there. So we'll let you know if anything changes. All right, joining us now is a nationally syndicated columnist. You may have read some of his work. He's a Fox News contributor, contributing editor to the National Review Online. Deroy Murdock, thank you for coming on to 97.1.
Hi, Ryan. How are you? Good to be with you.
Good. Very provocative article. Let me just read the first couple of lines, and I would love for you to explain a little bit further. It said, in his flattest brainwave yet, President Joe Biden hopes to import refugees from the Gaza Strip. This rotten idea should be blasted with a drone. That's a pretty provocative start to an article. Let's talk about that. What do you mean by that?
Well, as opposed to my usual mundane milquetoast middle of the road pieces, right?
Well, you're grabbing attention. That's 2 lines in, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I heard about that. I was chatting with my father actually about this, I think over the weekend or a few days ago, and he said, "Oh, by the way, did you hear about Biden's latest? He wants to bring in a bunch of refugees from Gaza." I said, "You're joking, right?" He goes, "No, really." And I looked into it, and sure enough, it wasn't just a gag from Saturday Night Live or some comedy routine or something or Babylon Bee. This is at least a trial balloon that the administration is talking about. And if we don't have enough trouble with roughly 9 going on 10 million illegal aliens here, we don't know where they're coming from. We don't know where they're going. We've seen outbreaks in measles, outbreaks in tuberculosis, and now on top of that, we're going to be bringing in refugees from the Gaza Strip. These are people who are coming out of a war zone. These are people who, unfortunately, are trained from when they're children to hate Jews, to hate Israel, to engage in anti-Semitism, and obviously the explosion of anti-Semitism we've seen in this country like nobody has seen in generations or probably any of our lifetimes. Now we're going to bring people in from Gaza who right now Hamas enjoys a 71-72% approval rating right now after everything that's gone on over there. So this is just an absolutely awful idea and maybe the worst idea that Joe Biden's cooked up, and he's certainly cooked up a lot of bad ones.
Wow. That's such an interesting dynamic because I've known a lot of people that have come into this country legally, gone through the process, and they love America. And they love it's so interesting because they have the same sort of family values Republicans have, and they want to stick by those things. And they don't like seeing people come in and rip those sort of values apart. But now we're saying, yeah, all the things you just mentioned, let's bring more of those people that hate America in and let them influence pretty much every walk of life, starting at the universities, which we're seeing. Plus, now we got to be honest with this too. We know the tactics of Hamas. They like to use these people as human shields, hide from inside. In the Palestinians, and what are we going to say? Okay, we're not going to be able to differentiate you from a terrorist, but we're going to let all of you in out of the abundance of caution that you may be under persecution. So that is an open door for terrorism.
Yeah, it is. I mean, certainly. I mean, you could have people who we think they're honest, wonderful, terrific people who are going to come in here and, open bakeries or go into commercial real estate or whatever it might be, and they think they come in with bad ideas and they decide to engage in terrorism over here. Or if I were the folks running Hamas, I'd say, all right, why don't you guys just get some civilian clothes, blend in, say, oh, gee, I'm tired of the war, I want peace, and go over there. And, as soon as you find a synagogue or a Jewish bookstore, why don't you go blow it up? We don't need that sort of thing over here. And the support for among the population, there was a very good survey done by the Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research. They did this April 15th. They talked to 750 people in Gaza. And 59% of them want to see Hamas back in power after the war ends. 71% described as, quote, correct, unquote, Hamas's offensive against Israel on October 7th, where 1,200 Israelis were killed, raped, mutilated, bodies burned alive, all this sort of thing. So this is not it's not talking about bringing some extra people from Belgium or France or Singapore or something like this. This is a purely volatile situation. Really, really dreadful idea.
And whatever happened to the idea that we need to cap the amount of immigration that comes into the country each year so we at least are doing it responsibly? Whatever happened to that? Is that just blown out the window?
Yeah, it's totally out the window. I mean, I refer to the southern border in quotes, the quote border unquote. I mean, all those things are gone in many respects. In some cases, we do still have caps. For example, I'm very much in favor of legal immigration, lawful immigration. My mom and dad are from Costa Rica. They came to the United States with passports and visas legally. If you do that, power to you. All success to you. Please enjoy the American way, the American dream. But if you break into the country, you get free hotel room in Times Square. In fact, just walked by the hotel on 8th Avenue last night, and there are all these people hanging around from all over the place, enjoying their free Times Square hotel rooms. Free cell phone. Now talking about work permits in some cases, and we have unfortunately put caps on H-1B visas and things like this. And I know a guy who's from Europe, Harvard graduate, worked in Silicon Valley, I think with a startup doing all kinds of high-tech coding and whatnot. And he applied for an H-1B visa. He didn't get it. And so Uncle Sam said to this Harvard graduate who speaks English, smart guy, good-looking guy, he's in a chorus, does all the right things you want. We said, all right, you got 2 weeks, pack up your bags and get the hell out of America. So those are the kind of people we kick out. But if you are coming in from a place where terrorists just attacked Israel 6 months ago, come on down. Come on in and get your free stuff. I mean, it is just so upside down and so twisted, so backward. Your head just goes around and around in circles.
Deroy Murdock is a news contributor, Fox News, and also contributing editor with the National Review Online. And maybe just 2 years ago, you remembered when, maybe it was a little bit more than that, I'm getting the years mixed up. Essentially, the big tech companies in California were saying that we're having a hard time recruiting people because of the way the immigration laws are, that if you wanted to get someone here that was really good at coding or really good at engineering, that it was just so many hurdles to try to get those qualified candidates over here to work in the United States that they're having a hard time recruiting. And that's why they're thinking about starting more overseas branches. Now, where are those companies today when we're talking about bringing in all of these immigrants from, Gaza? Are they going to hire them? No, of course not. I mean, that's the thing we really need to, going back just even a couple of years ago, we talked about the prioritization of those that are going to help this country by bringing them in and trying to at least put a priority on them because they have a skill set that's going to help our country. And there's a need for them here. So at least we know when they get here, they'll have a job and be able to provide for themselves. We don't even care about that anymore. We want to bring in people that don't have any possibility of employment, and they're not looking for it because the government's going to help them live anyway without the possibility of working.
You're absolutely right about that. The kind of people you want in this country who get up in the morning, go to an office or a work site, laboratory, whatever it is, factory, work hard, come home, take care of their loved ones, not attack their neighbors, not kill and blow people up. That's the kind of folks you want, and those are the kind of folks you want here. I know it's about 2-3 years ago, people from Canada, a young couple, I think we're doing investment banking or private equity, some financial kind of stuff like that. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, they didn't get their H-1B visa or whatever it is, and we sent them back to Canada. And these are people who are working on Wall Street, helping finance companies and get the capital it takes to help expand enterprises and create jobs. And under Joe Biden, okay, get the hell out. We don't want you here. Bye-bye. And meanwhile, we've got, I think the number, as I last checked, was around 315, 320, something like that. People have come in who are literally on the terrorist watch list. These are terrorists, so when we get their names or get their fingerprints, up pops an alert saying this member is a member of Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Hezbollah, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, whatever it is. And these are the kind of people we're catching at the border. At the same time, we're booting out technicians, engineers, high-tech people, bankers, management consultant types. It is just so completely ass backwards. I can't even tell you. I mean, it's just all I can say is that the sooner Joe Biden is back in his comfortable bunker in Delaware, the better off we'll all be.
Can I ask you a little bit about Hamas? And I'm just going to throw this theory out there and tell me. But I think about them as an organization. We get this impression that they're single-minded, meaning all they think about is destroying. So they want to go into Israel. They want to rape and kill. They want to blow up buildings. And it's very single-minded. That's all that their ambitions are. But is it a little bit deeper? Do you think part of their ambition is to try to change American lifestyles, influence college kids, try to change the conversation so we're more sympathetic to terrorism here? Could that be a bigger strategy and we're underestimating the threat because we're only looking at it in a single way, as in the physical side?
Well, I think it's both, and it's not an either or proposition; it's a both proposition. They are over in Gaza. They got the Gaza Strip from Israel. Said, "Here, it's yours. You may have this." The Israelis pulled out. They pulled all the Jews out of Gaza. Rather, they brought the Jewish bodies out of cemeteries and brought those home. So there's no Jewish presence in Gaza. And they had a huge opportunity to say, look, the Jews are gone. We're free. We've gotten our land here, and now we're going to turn this into Dubai West, or Arab Hong Kong, or Nice South. They've apparently got these beautiful beaches right on the Mediterranean there, great weather, and that place could be a paradise. And you and I might be saying, gee, when can we take a vacation and go visit the beautiful Gaza Strip? They didn't do that at all. They said, hey, let's just take our political enemies, throw them off of buildings, and let's start building tunnels with all the money we get for schools and hospitals. Let's take that money and that cement and turn them into death tunnels, and then let's throw rockets at Israel and kill Jews. That's all the only export they've got is Jew killing rockets. What a disaster! So that's what they're doing over there, and then over here, apparently, we're finding some evidence of the demonstrations that have broken out at universities around the country, Hamas pamphlets, Hamas propaganda, apparently some contact between agitators in this country and people in the Gaza Strip. So these are people who are not just terrorist sympathizers. These are people who, as far as we can gather, are cooperating with a terrorist organization. This is called giving material support to a terrorist group. And back when we had something called the Global War on Terror under President G.W. Bush, and I think obviously under President Trump as well, when you did that sort of thing, you'd be arrested and thrown in jail. Now under Joe Biden, you probably get a scholarship and maybe college tenure.
Yep. The latest piece, I'm reading this one from the Daily Signal, is the headline, Biden's Gaza refugee import scheme deserves drone strike. It's so great. You have a picture, and it's some dude wearing an orange NASA shirt, holding up what looks like, he's on people's shoulders, they're cheering, and who knows what they're cheering about, but he's holding up what looks like a rubber molded gun. It doesn't even look like a real gun, honestly. It looks like it's made of rubber or plastic, but they are cheering about something, and I'm guessing it's anti-American. And these are the type of people that we want to let into the country. Okay, Deroy Murdock, Manhattan-based Fox News contributor and contributing editor with the National Review Online. Great piece to look up. The Biden's Gaza refugee import scheme deserves drone strike. Thank you for coming on and discussing that here in St. Louis.
My pleasure, Ryan. Be well, and good luck with the storms.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And that's a good reminder as we're watching these storms continue through here. Severe thunderstorm warning has now popped up right below where the tornado warning is. And this is south of St. Louis. It's starting to move across the border into Illinois. We'll get another update on that too. But do take cover if you're south of St. Louis and you're in this impacted area. If I look at that tornado warning, still about at 1:10 it said, so this is about 10 minutes ago, severe thunderstorms capable of producing a tornado were located near Olympian Village, moving at about 30 miles an hour due east. And with that, strong winds and hail could get up to a baseball-sized hail, golf-sized hail we're seeing near Festus. So these are things you need to watch out for. We'll continue to track these storms, and be careful. Do not take this lightly. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Andy Fry. Don't go anywhere. 97.1 FM Talk.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
When you're looking to purchase a firearm and you're somebody who lives in Illinois, you know that it's complicated because there are restrictions that don't exist in other places. Okay, that's just the law of the land, and it is what it is. You need somebody who knows the law front and back, and those people are at STS Armory. I'm so grateful that I know Katie and Jesse Johnson, the owners of STS Armory in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, because I can ask them any questions that I have about firearms that I might be looking to purchase, or ammunition and the ability to acquire the ammunition that I need. And especially something else I've purchased from them, safes that I can rely on in my home to make sure that I can be somebody who exercises my Second Amendment, but does so intelligently and safely when I have kids in the home. All of this stuff matters, and the education that goes along with being a firearm owner and operator, they provide those classes as well. For your FOID card issues, for your conceal and carry class qualification, STS Armory. All the details, you can find them online at sts-armory.com.
I get asked a lot, what's the difference between the efficiency ratings and the numbers that customers hear while they're getting prices? Pretty much the difference is the numbers. As far as actual savings, there is a very easy common sense way to explain the differences in the energy ratings and the types of energy rating on the furnaces, what you can get and what you can't get, and what's best suited for you, what you actually do need or what you absolutely do not need. You'll be surprised and very happy that you called me. So call me, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. This is the only number that you need to call. 314-293-2600 or on the website Bart Inman. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-254-4574. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-254-4574 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-254-4574 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-254-4574.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health from Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
The Muni's epic 106th season begins June 17th. The summer includes Les Miserables, Dreamgirls, Disney's The Little Mermaid, Fiddler on the Roof, Waitress, In the Heights, and Anything Goes. See all 7 Broadway hits for as low as $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
The Muni in Forest Park.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you're not sure who to call for air conditioning services, contact the team at Air Comfort Service. With 55 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust them with the comfort of your home. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
The Attorney General of the state of Missouri, Andrew Bailey.
This is the most disgusting use of lawfare against a political opponent that I've ever seen. Alvin Bragg should be ashamed of himself.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
I got some money in my pocket, got some trouble on my tail. I can hear the dogs and knocking, guess I'm heading.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
National Weather Service radar indicated hail up to 2 inches in and around Festus that we saw with this one tornado warning. That's a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 7 miles southeast of Crystal City, moving at about 30 miles an hour. Tornado warning in effect until 1:45, about 15 minutes from now. And we saw flying debris could be a problem. Impact locations: Festus, Waterloo, in Crystal City. So that's kind of where we're seeing it move through here. And I know Ryan Wiggins is watching this too. It's a nasty storm. And the sad thing is that Dave Murray last hour said, once this one passes, oh, you're not in the clear. There's going to be more coming in after. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a tough night of storms
Yeah,
through
he said
the St. Louis region.
He said the atmosphere would be right and the conditions would be right until 9 o'clock tonight.
I think he called it juicy.
Juicy.
Which I don't know if that's a meteorologist term or he just came up with that.
Makes me want to write a make an album and name it Juicy Atmosphere.
Yeah, Juicy Atmosphere.
Yeah, whenever I watch TV meteorologists, they sometimes don't show them from the waist down. They could be wearing those yoga pants that say juicy on the back.
They could. Yeah, they could be a little too juicy for TV.
Juicy.
Like Elvis.
Pink.
Yeah. The meteorologists are wearing yoga pants. It's still too juicy, Dave.
Yeah.
Can't show that. I am looking at the radar. Redbud is another town in Illinois. Marissa, I mean, we're getting to the very edge probably of our listening area here, but Sparta, right now, Festus and Peevely are right in the center of it. I do want to highlight 2-inch size hail. That is huge.
Yeah.
If you see a picture of what 2-inch hail looks like, it's like the size of your palm.
That's the diameter, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's if and I have seen a couple pictures. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but local news is grabbing them as much as they can. So I've been kind of monitoring what they've been saying too. And man, I mean, if that's in the St. Louis area, we're gonna have major damage, and you're gonna hear all kinds of advertisements and people knocking on your door about roofs and stuff in the next few days. You're gonna see that as usual.
Yeah, Freeburg also looks like it's in the line. Freeburg,
Got it.
Illinois.
That's tough. How's the poll going when it comes to you Beatles haters, Brad? You find some backup on there?
Oh, yeah, there's lots of backup.
No way! I can't believe it.
I know,
Go
I
vote in
can't
the
believe it
YouTube
either.
poll.
You know, it's probably just like the protests. It's the most vocal people that are saying this when the majority really think that the Beatles are a fantastic band and not overrated.
All right, go vote in the poll. Are the Beatles overrated? Ugh, I can't believe that's even a poll today because Brad, as it turns out, is in that vocal minority.
I like to pick a fight.
Let's, speaking of picking fights, Kim Gardner sounds like she's picking a fight. Put up or shut up. STL NAACP calls out state auditor for painting Kim Gardner as a criminal. What's the best you can say about Kim Gardner? Grossly incompetent? Is that the best thing you can say about her tenure as prosecutor in St. Louis?
That would be my defense if I were
grossly incompetent. And it's not even just a little incompetent. Grossly incompetent would be the only defense that she would have. But, when they realized the investigation was going on, she resigned. Her predecessor came in, apparently opened up the doors and said, go ahead, any documents you want, it's yours. Like, we're going to let you investigate this. And they're continuing to, and apparently the auditor in Missouri wants to look into this even further and wants to get some questions answered directly from Kim Gardner. Calls her on the phone, doesn't answer, finds other numbers, doesn't answer, contacts her lawyers don't contact back. They are not being cooperative whatsoever. So maybe the only evidence that we have is what was left behind, and who knows what was left behind, honestly. Maybe there's an incomplete record left behind in the Kim Gardner office because there was so much dysfunction there. The people that she worked with didn't like her either. She was just terrible at her job. Did it rise to the level of being a criminal? I think that's worth looking into. But the head of the NAACP says that it's unwarranted and unprofessional the way that they're handling this investigation. I don't believe it. Can we play a clip? This is from, I think, KMOV.
A state investigation is now being questioned after Missouri's auditor issued a be on the lookout for ex-city prosecutor Kim Gardner. It's something a local NAACP president says was unprofessional and sends the wrong message that she is a fugitive on the run.
I think it gives the impression to people that for some reason or another, the former circuit attorney is a wanted criminal.
An All Points Bulletin, St. Louis City NAACP President Adolphus Pruitt tells First Alert 4 State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick had no business doing.
I question his objectivity at this point in time.
I know you will see this. Do the right thing.
Monday, Missouri's auditor calling for former St. Louis City Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner to answer subpoenas and be questioned about spending while in office.
Yep. Do you think that when she was investigating then Missouri governor, I can't think of his name right now. Why can't
Eric
I?
Greitens.
Yeah, Eric Greitens. I mean, she used a lot of these same type of tactics, honestly, but she is out there, and there are, uh, I mean, pieces of the puzzle that need to be put together. She doesn't want to cooperate, knowing that there's no upside for her to cooperate. There's subpoenas that she's ignoring. Do you think it's wrong for the auditor to say, "Hey, keep on a lookout for Kim Gardner because we want to talk to her. To let us know if you see her." Is that wrong for him to do that?
No, that's not wrong at all.
Not at all.
That's what he should be doing. Is saying, look, she's been subpoenaed. If she's not showing up for subpoenas, then she is breaking.
Well,
the
I don't
law.
even know if she's been subpoenaed.
Now, if
I think they're
hasn't,
trying to subpoena her and they can't find her.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, same deal. I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
reason then that to ask for people. Now, I do want to be very clear though that it's not okay to just criminalize somebody for being bad at their job.
Right.
You can't make a criminal out of somebody just because they were, in your words, Ryan, grossly incompetent. I think it was beyond that. But that doesn't make them criminal because somebody voted them in and voted them in again. So that's their ultimate accountability is to the voters. And what scares me is going forward, are we just going to have this happen again in St. Louis, that they're going to vote somebody that is this incompetent and really malicious into office again? Because they did it twice.
Yeah,
So-
and I think part of it too is we know she's a liar too. I mean, she was caught many times lying in office. So even if she does answer questions, I think she's setting herself up to have a huge conflict in her own testimony. So maybe that's why she's afraid to actually do this sort of thing, to come forward and cooperate in this sort of investigation. Has no one seen her? Is she like just flown the coop and she's gone?
Yeah, actually, we talked about this pre-show because we were kicking around all these different poll ideas, and one of them was, "Where is Kim Gardner?" But we didn't ultimately do that one because the answers were, I don't know. But Mark Reardon is playing on his show a sounder that's "Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?" But instead, it is Kim Gardner. I mean, this is a big question that people are asking because she was the public face of the city's demise really for a number of years, and now she can't be found at all because she's under scrutiny for it. So that's the problem, is that she is completely making herself unknown on purpose, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, is Dog the Bounty Hunter available to try to find her? Is there someone that we can use to track her down?
Let me text him and see.
Text Dog. Do you think there would be a bit of irony if, like, let's say someone that she put back on the street that was a, lifelong criminal somehow interacted with her and that's how she was caught? Like, if there was some sort of like full circle, someone that shouldn't be on the streets somehow finds his way interacting with Kim Gardner through some sort of criminal activity, like she gets carjacked or something, and that's how we find Kim Gardner. Wouldn't there be a little bit of irony in that?
Yeah, well, I mean, you pointed it out, Ryan, that some of the things that she was doing to other Missouri politicians is now coming back on her, and not because of vindictiveness, but because of the way she was doing her job, and because she was doing that.
Or not doing her job. Yeah.
Completely ignoring it. Yeah.
I wonder, too, like, is there civil liability for her? Is she at risk of civil liability because, you look at Janae Edmondson, who lost her legs because this person violated parole, and Kim Gardner decided she should go, this guy should go back out on parole and not have his parole denied, and then he crashes his car into her. Is there civil liability that she would be at risk for? And especially like if you start digging around in the records and you find that, like Ryan was saying, maybe there was some sort of contact or whatever the case may be,
Can I say what I think is if we're going to kind of do like what's the most likely things that happen to the least likely things that happen? Can I tell you something that I would almost guarantee it happened? I almost can guarantee she inappropriately used her office and funds for things like security or personal benefit that when she wasn't using on the job. You remember when one of the first times she got caught lying was when she was pulled over and she had other security around her trying to interfere with the police investigation because she said she was fearful as a Black woman that she was going to be profiled by the police, and she didn't feel comfortable with the police stopping her. And then we get the video footage and we find out she was completely lying at how the police were acting. They were above board professional with her. I have a feeling that she was probably using the taxpayer dime in order to fund things like her own personal security, which shouldn't have happened, off the clock. I'm guessing they're going to continue to find that there was misappropriations of funds for her own benefit, and it's going to start with things like that.
Well, whether she was or wasn't a matter of speculation, it doesn't really matter because in this country, Ryan, we don't prosecute when people do campaign finance violations. That's not something that at the highest levels that we do. It's one of these, it's just red tape, basically. It's like a slap on the wrist, and you get a fine, and you go home, typically in the United States. So I would challenge you to ever find an example of somebody being wrongly accused or prosecuted for campaign finance violations.
Yeah, and let's look at this, too. There were a lot of competent people in that office that ended up leaving that accused her of some pretty serious violations. Imagine if they were put up on the stand as part of all of this and saying, here's what I witnessed at my time before I resigned because I could not work with this person. And them knowing the law because they are in that office would be able to very clearly testify the things that they witnessed firsthand when they saw her come in office.
Go ahead.
I think that's likely too.
We dip into local politics sometimes, and I think especially in Illinois, Mark and Mark are much more covering local politics in Missouri and Missouri side of things. We talk about Illinois quite a bit when we talk about local things at all. We, of course, focus on national politics, but in this case, it is so interesting because it could balloon into something pretty big. Like this could end up being a pretty big national story that's happening right here in St. Louis. In a way, it already is. You say the words Kim Gardner, and people outside of St. Louis, if you pay attention to politics at all, probably have an awareness of who that is and what the allegations are against her and what she's done to St. Louis. So
yeah, and it can be a national story. I think it was pointed out when it comes to the people that campaign with George Soros's money. It's not a conspiracy.
Right.
And she was one of them. And also, you saw Elon Musk. He summed it up best, I think. He said it was very smart what Soros was doing. He said, if you can't pay to change the policy, pay to get in people that would ignore the policy. And she was one that would go in and ignore certain policies and laws to adapt to what you wanted to accomplish. And she's not the only one. There's a lot of prosecutors around the country that had this very same funding and MO. And she was just one of them that got caught up in all that. And I think it wasn't on accident. And I think a lot of people have suffered and got hurt in the city of St. Louis because of that.
It's remarkable. I remember that story about him funding these circuit attorneys and things back like in the middle of Obama's term.
Yeah.
I remember people saying that and saying, look, this is going to be a big problem, because at that moment it hadn't become a problem yet. Mm-hmm. But it's amazing how much the people throwing the red flags were dead right on that. They said this is going to be a major problem within a decade. And I mean, down to like the minutes they were right about. And the way that it would play out is exactly what we've seen.
Yeah. The sad and crazy thing is, Alex Jones is starting to look like a prophet. The way that he is.
There's tomorrow's
things
promo.
Up 10 years ago. Yeah, no kidding. No joke. If you go back and look at all the things he was mocked for, I'm not an Alex Jones fan by any means. I don't listen to him. Honestly, I don't like him. But you go back and look at some of the things he said, man, was he right on. And he was continuously mocked for a decade for the things he said that are now coming true. I don't think he has the greatest insight in the world. I just think he is very good at seeing these things for what they are and not being afraid to call it out. So let's take a break from there. And I know we're running a little bit late. I don't know if this is a good story or bad story, but it plays with the Beatles. And Sir Paul McCartney tried to have a very warming moment, which we're going to talk about after the break. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in on the Andy Fry Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
So bartender, take my keys.
AirComfortService.com. That's the website to visit if you are looking to make sure that you can save on that AC replacement that you might be having to shop for. Yes, it's time to replace the air conditioner. You fixed it before, or you're worried that if they come out to check and see what's wrong with it, you're going to have to fix it and you can't put it off any longer. The air outside, it's getting warmer. That means the air inside is getting warmer as well. When you shop at Air Comfort Service right now, you could save up to $4,200 with double carrier cool cash rebates on qualifying systems. Make sure that you know exactly how to connect with them by calling them and getting this conversation started. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. They're going to take your phone call. You're going to be glad that you're in hands that you can trust. I myself am a customer, a frequent shopper. It seems like I've replaced pretty much everything HVAC in my home with Air Comfort Service, and you're going to love them. They're great. They care about you as a customer, and it's going to show. Find them online by going to aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, if you have income-generating properties, check out my friends at Rapid Rental Renovations. They can take care of your property whenever it goes vacant, whether that be at the very beginning when you just got it and you're rehabbing it, maybe even in the middle of a rehab project. Or if it goes vacant because your tenants have moved out and they've left it in somewhere between really bad shape and it needs a little work shape. Check them out at murphycleanoutservices.com. Of course, their name implies what they would do first. They would clean it out for you, but they'll also do all the painting, flooring, light fixtures, bathroom updates, doors and hardware, blinds, lock changes, you name it, from little to big, they do it, and they're going to give you a great bid on it. Maybe you're a handyman and you handle a lot of this yourself, but there's just a few things you want done. Check them out. They will be a tremendous help to you for time and money. MurphyCleanoutServices.com is the website. Once you get there, you'll see Rapid Rental Renovations because they do everything right there. You can get their phone number and call them, or you can get your phone number and text them pictures of your place and make it real easy. They'll make it easy. MurphyCleanoutServices.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Get ready for Live Nation's Concert Week on LiveNation.com from May 8th to May 14th. $25 tickets to over 5,000 shows. Go to Odyssey.com/contest to enter for your chance to win a $2,500 gift card. This is a national contest.
Attention contractors, it's Andrea and Scott at Best Buy Flooring. We've joined forces with Carpet for Less to open a location in South County.
Visítenos para todas sus necesidades de pisos, como tablones de vinilo, láminas de vinilo, laminados y una gran selección de carpeta.
Celebrate our grand opening. Buy 1 square foot of in-stock hardwood at $2.99. Get 1 square foot free.
Sí, compre un pie de madera dura en stock y obtenga un pie cuadrado gratis.
Come see us at 13520 Tesson Ferry Road or anytime in Hazelwood, Missouri or O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy, Best Buy Flooring.
Well, the main parts of the current storm is crossing over the river right now. Redbud, Prairie du Rocher, and I'm looking at maybe Waterloo at the very tip of this thing. So we'll keep you updated on the weather as we go about things. It is raining all over the place in downtown St. Louis. Now it is raining, and here on the Manny Fry Show, it is raining men. 1:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Annie here, inviting you to join us at Tamarack Golf Club for the St. Clair County Republicans' 4th Annual Chairman's Golf Tournament. It's Friday, May 17th. We'll be there doing the Annie Fry Show live. Let's turn St. Clair County red together. Sign up now at 971talk.com/events.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
It's raining men, Wiggins.
Oh, you thought that was funny? See, I was serious.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
That's
good that you got a kick
comedy.
out of it because I was just trying to,
You're too
share
cool
the
for
news.
that.
I was just sharing the news.
It's raining men in the okay. Just because it's the Manny Fry Show and I'm filling in for Andy and it's 3 guys on today. It's not okay. It is technically maybe raining and we're men. So I guess if you wanted to try to condense that to save time, I get it. You only get so much time.
That's what I was trying to do. Yeah, we don't waste time here.
All right. Tornado warning remains in effect. It looks like the worst part of it shifted a little bit south, in effect until 2:15 for southwestern Genevieve and southwestern St. Francis counties. That's like until severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Park Hills, moving at about 40 miles an hour. Tornado with golf ball sized hail, flying debris. Looks like the storm will be near Farmington, where it looks like it's almost over right now. Over it, as in on top of. Then head into Park Hills around 150. So that's about right now. All right. So we're watching this storm and how it's tracking south of St. Louis. Some pretty serious storms here with more on the way after that. We talked to Dave Murray at 12:25, was it, roughly? So if you want to go and use the Odyssey app to rewind back, you can get that for yourself. All right. So there was a story about how Paul McCartney wanted to do something, kind of fun to talk about his return to Brooklyn. He's got, I think, an art exhibit or something going on there. Because, when I think of Paul McCartney, I think, I want to go see him for his artwork. Not his music, but still there's a great amount of interest when it comes to Paul McCartney. So he put this out on social media. It was kind of a fun little thing. Can we take a listen?
I love the Beatles for them, and I'll always love them. Even when I'm 105 and an old grandmother, I'll love them. And Paul McCartney, if you are listening, Adrienne from Brooklyn loves you with all her heart.
Okay, can we pause it real quick?
Paul, and please.
All right, so what you're hearing is something that was recorded like 60 years ago.
Oh, okay.
70 years ago now. I mean, this was recorded back in Beatles height, Beatles mania. And it was just a regular news report. And you get this little girl from Brooklyn that said, "I love you, Paul McCartney." I can't do her voice, but it's very Brooklyn. Yeah, it's perfect. So this is what they dug out of the archives and apparently played for Paul McCartney. So let's play the rest of it now.
You with all her heart. I love you, Paul, and please come to the window so I can just see you. I saw you smoking before, and I kissed the limousine you looked out of. But I love you, and I want you, Paul. Please look at it. And Ringo, you can look at it, too, because I like you.
It's very nice. So,
okay.
You know what Paul McCartney ended up doing? He played that viral video and says, "Is it Adrian? If you're still out there, Adrian, come to I finally made it to Brooklyn. Why don't you come to my exhibit? I want you to come out here. You'll be my guest. I would love to meet you, Adrian." Isn't that a nice little thing for Paul McCartney to do?
Yeah.
She died so many years ago, though.
Oh, I thought this story was going toward a reunion.
She was long gone. So apparently she was married, had kids at a young age, and died. Kind of a tragic thing. I forgot what she had. It was some sort of medical condition. But, her kids see this report that, hey, Paul McCartney is looking for an Adrian from Brooklyn. They play it. It's her mom's voice. It's what her mom looked like as a kid. Same name from Brooklyn. And the kid's like, oh, my, that's mom. That's mom. Then they come out and say, yeah, I wish this would have worked, but she died like in the 90s. It was a long time ago. So I'm sorry she's no longer around. So what would have been a very heartwarming, awesome moment for Adrian to finally meet Paul McCartney after all these years, she ended up dying in 1992 at the age of 41.
So Paul didn't invite the kids out or something? I'm waiting for it to turn here.
Nope.
Nothing?
You know what? I think he gets off the hook. Now he doesn't have to meet anyone.
Oh, man.
It's like,
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, yeah. Man. That's
Exhibit 2.
Yeah,
The Beatles are overrated. Couldn't even invite those kids' family.
I know. So what would have been a very nice, heartwarming moment, not so much. Poor Adrian. She missed out by 30 years to go meet Paul McCartney.
You remind me when I get really old to not get fake. I don't even know if it's fake. I don't know what you'd call it. But like these old rockers, they're clearly doing something to their hair to stay younger looking. And I'm sure they're getting Botox and stuff too. But their hair, the older these people get, it's not just Paul McCartney. It's Steven Tyler and there's other ones too. If you catch them at the right angle, they just look like your elderly aunt.
Steven Tyler's pretty bad
Right.
about that one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I
think part of it's fashion too, where
Yeah.
you know the fashion world's very feminine today when it comes to the dress, and you find you've seen the pictures where like some dude's wearing an expensive jacket and there's an old lady wearing the same jacket that
Yeah.
you run into on the street, and it's like that's the fashion full circle. It's like the young guys and the old guys, and then the old ladies wear the same thing. It's just the way that it's such a deceptive thing too, because I think about relatives in my life, they never looked like women when they got older. The guys do. Why? It's just a celebrity thing.
But you got to be wealthy and an artist, I think, before that happens. The other ones that I noticed, but this was like 15 years ago, I saw them and I went, I recognize those guys, but I didn't know the music and I still don't. Brooks and Dunn. When I saw them, I was like, wait a minute, are those guys? Because they have mustaches and stuff, but their hair and their clothes were so fancy looking that I was like, wait, what happened? I thought those were country guys.
You know what I like? I like the videos online where people point out, like, it's the dude showing up in like a $250,000 car. And they always open up like vertically instead of open the doors. Like they're very expensive cars, and they get out and they look like they're complete slobs. They're wearing like basically
Yeah.
pajama bottoms and a broken top, and they don't care what they look like, but they're filthy rich and they're able to do what they want and dress the way they want. I want that as opposed to high end fashion with my money. Honestly,
Yeah,
the
I'm so
freedom to
rich
just dress that way.
that I can just wear flip flops to this meeting and you got to deal with it.
Exactly. Yeah, show up like the dude or whatever from Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
I want that in my life.
Me too.
That type I'm dressing the way I want money.
But you
All right,
got to
well,
have the money. You
but
can't just
have
do
to
it.
have- yeah, otherwise they're kicking you out. Not putting up with that. All right, another hour of the Andy Fry Show. I'm Ryan Recker filling in. Don't go anywhere. 97.1 FM Talk.
If you have an IRS problem, getting accurate legal advice could help get this all behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. The IRS made new changes that make it easier to settle your IRS debt for a reduced amount. Not all our clients qualify, but under the IRS's new Fresh Start program, you may be able to resolve your IRS problems quickly and for less money. But don't wait. An IRS problem is a legal problem. You need someone who understands both the IRS and the law. Don't trust your tax problems to some TV personality. The Drury Law Firm has handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years, and your first visit is completely free and confidential. And I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
At Odyssey, we believe in casting a wide net to create a diverse and inclusive workforce, as we value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be directly notified of our open positions. Again, that's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for our listeners, we invite you to visit odysseyin.com/careers careers. There, you'll find an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The State Department confirming the U.S. is reviewing other weapons packages to Israel after pausing one shipment of bombs over concern about a possible large-scale offensive in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The U.S. has urged against a major offensive without specifying possible consequences.
I'm just not going to speak to what actions we might take in the future. We make these assessments day by day based on what is happening on the ground and make our appropriate policy determinations based on those facts.
State Department spokesman Matthew Miller, Tal Heinrich, a spokesperson for Israel's prime minister, telling Fox News,
"We don't have to agree on every small detail with our best friends in Washington, but we have ways of conveying such messages, holding these discussions, and they're not in the public eye."
Israel is still vowing total victory over Hamas, a ceasefire and hostage talks continue in Cairo. George Washington University says pro-Palestinian protesters had been warned to stop a nearly 2-week-old illegal encampment before police moved in and cleared them off campus early today, using pepper spray in some cases, making more than 30 arrests. President Biden takes his economic agenda back on the road.
It's only just beginning. We're seeing a great American comeback story all across Wisconsin, and quite frankly, the entire country.
Heading next to Chicago as Vice President Harris campaigns in Pennsylvania, focusing on abortion rights. 3 tornadoes confirmed in Michigan, where Governor Gretchen Whitmer has been getting a firsthand look at damage near Kalamazoo and saying she feels lucky there were no fatalities.
The most inspiring thing is seeing fellow neighbors help one another, listening to the sheriff tell me stories about families that were actually inside homes that were moved off their foundations.
The storms that pounded the central U.S. yesterday, killing at least one person in Tennessee when a tree toppled onto a car. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey guys, don't be that dad without life insurance. When thanks to Ethos, you can be that great dad with life insurance to help keep his family living exactly like they do now, secure and protected in the event of the unexpected. With a fast and easy online experience, some policies as low as $1 a day and up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Ethos makes getting life insurance protection hassle-free. E for easy, E for ethos at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We have a very juicy atmosphere as we continue through this Wednesday. We'll continue to see periods of rain and thunderstorms, some strong to severe, large hail damaging winds, and the possibility of large-scale tornadoes as we go into the evening. Most of the action should be gone by about 9 o'clock tonight. Clearing skies late tonight, 55. Thursday, sunny, windy, 72. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 500, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 500 for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 500 to save 15% today.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25 plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
It's Pick Your Ticket time on The Mark Reardon Show. Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago. Train and REO. The Doobie Brothers. Need to Breathe. And OAR. Listen to win and then pick your show. Pick your ticket on The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
The Annie Fry Show, where it's raining men today. Welcome back. I'm Ryan Recker filling in, and it looks like the tornado warnings are pretty far south of St. Louis at this point. But the main concern, just south of St. Louis, you're finding the flash flood warning continues on. So we are watching the severe weather as it tracks through, and it's going to be like that for really the rest of the night. So we'll keep you updated on that. I'm Ryan Recker filling in, and I got to tell you, it's always fun when we get to fill in. I tried to do something different, and I created songs for Ryan Wiggins, created from artificial intelligence, AI. I came across this one AI website that it blew me away how good it was. So I've seen the AI photos, I've seen the AI videos, I've seen the AI chatbots. I think the AI music is unbelievable, and I think it'll shock you how good it is. So I made a couple of songs about Ryan Wiggins. We'll play that this hour too, and I hope you like them, Ryan.
I do too. I have no idea what to expect.
Yep, and let me tell you, I can't confirm all the information inside of the songs about you.
Oh, great. So you plug it in the information, and then it does whatever it wants with it, but it's still coming from you ultimately.
Yeah, it's still coming from me. So, well, you'll get the idea that we'll do that this hour too. Can I say also, I saw that one injury with Contreras' arm. Have you seen the video of that for the Cardinals,
I
their
watched
catcher?
it live.
You watched it live.
Yeah.
Man, he was really close to that plate, and he stuck his arm right in the path of JD Martinez. And when Martinez swung, it basically grazed his elbow down to his forearm and the glove, and it looked like it hurt. Do we have audio of that?
Yeah, I
Oof.
do.
Oh boy, did that look bad. And you can
The
tell
2-1.
instantly.
A swing and a foul, and that one caught Contreras. That hit him on the left arm, and he's in a lot of pain. Contreras is running over by the Cardinal dugout. He's on his knees now, sitting.
I can't tell whether that hit his wrist or his elbow, and wherever it did, it hurts. He's in a lot of pain right now, and he's holding his arm just below, actually kind of middle of his arm, not quite to the wrist, not quite to the elbow, really the forearm on the swing of Martinez.
The swing is what hit his arm.
Yeah, and the insult to injury, Martinez then got to first base because it was interference. So he gets the base because of that. Contreras fractured arm, is that what it is? The injury?
That was the report later on in the game. They said that he fractured his arm.
So he got up and walked away from the home plate and then sat back down as if, like, I got to get to a safe space. I don't want this bat swinging by me again. Man, did that look like it hurt.
Yeah, I was watching this, and you made the point, and this isn't unique to the Cardinals, but teams across the league are making it a point to get their catchers closer to the plate because they can get those low strike calls. Well, JD Martinez also happens to be a hitter who stands deep in the plate. And I saw a slow motion view of this from the side. And when you're watching it, JD Martinez has his hands back, and Wilson Contreras' head is almost directly beneath where his hands are from the side view. And it's just, to me, it's just a perfect storm, and it might actually even be a microcosm of this season. Wilson Contreras was also the Cardinals' best offensive player this year, and they've been having offensive struggles, and now he's out.
Yeah. Wiggins, man, you had to have. When you saw the video, did you see the video or did you just hear the call?
No, I watched the video because somebody, of course, is going to put it on a loop, and there's 2 or 3 different angles, and they made a 15-second clip of all 3 angles of it happening, and you just sit there and watch it over and over because there's so many reactions that you're watching to see how fast does Contreras know, oh my gosh, I'm in deep pain. How fast is JD Martinez? How fast is he reacting? Where's he standing in the box, like you were saying, Brad? How far up is Contreras? I just keep watching it to watch different things about it. And, man, I mean, every time you just wince because you're like, oh, my gosh, the pain from that bat. I mean, somebody taking a bat and swinging as hard as they possibly can. And JD Martinez is a slugger.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a singles guy. Him swinging that bat and hitting him right in that wrist. My son is starting to get into baseball more, and this is basically his second season. He played t-ball, but he hasn't played really real serious baseball, if you want to call it that, since he was really little. And so he's just kind of getting back into it, and he's loving playing catcher. And so I'm learning how to coach him to play catcher because I never did. And I'm just kind of giving him tips. And I just wondered this within a week or so. I thought, I wonder how often these kids get hit by a bat or, anything for that matter because they don't know exactly where to sit. And then I see this and I go, gosh, I can't believe that right after a professional did it.
My kid plays baseball too. Here's a few things. I'll give you little pointers here. Number one, the thing that he really needs to learn is to get his pads on and off quickly because there's nothing worse than watching the game and then it takes like 8 minutes for that kid to put his pads on and you're like, come on, let's get this going. This game's long enough as it is. Number two, I think that the adults are very good at making sure the kids are within a distance where they won't get hurt. I've never seen a kid let go of the bat, but even so, I think part of it, like with my kid, is that he was afraid of getting hit by the ball. So having him realize that it really doesn't hurt that bad if you get hit by the ball is a good thing. So I'm guessing even if he gets like, a random ball bounces and hits him and he's, afraid of that, once it happens a few times, he's going to realize it's not that big of a deal. the kids aren't really swinging these bats super heavy. Now, you don't want your kid to get beamed in the face with a bat, but even if, like, let's say the kid drops a bat and it bounces up and hits your kid, it's probably not going to hurt him that much. So hopefully it's not a fear thing.
It's the younger kids that I've had to concern myself, because I also have a 6-year-old and he's playing a couple years now, and they're a little more. I mean, you preach it enough and they'll listen, but they're a little more wild. But what we have to watch out for with the 6-year-olds is that they'll swing, and if they get a hit, they don't think anything beyond what am I supposed to do now, which is run to first. You know, you're just teaching them like the basics. Yep. And so when they get that hit, more of them than not will just sort of fling that bat backwards after the hit. And that is so hard to train them out of, because you're trying to train them where to run. You're trying to train them how to play baseball. And that's kind of an afterthought.
That is a pet peeve of mine.
And it happens a lot. We haven't had any injuries yet, but everybody's, waiting for it to happen.
I was a catcher all through grade school and into high school, and I caught on the high school team for a while. And like, catching is a thankless position, and your kids are going to get hit by the bat on a swing. It's just the way it is. It's going to happen. Maybe not necessarily on their hand or whatever, a catcher's interference, but even like on a follow through where the kid who's swinging takes a big follow through and hits him in the back or something. I got smoked one time right in the kidney whenever I was catching. Ooh. But that's the nature of the beast. But yeah, the throwing of the bat, always, it's a pet peeve of mine. It's like, swing and drop the bat. Just let go. You don't have to throw
just
it.
Drop it.
In my kids' league, if you don't just drop the bat and you get a base hit, they'll bring you back. It doesn't count.
Oh.
So they're very careful at that, and it confuses some kids. They're like, why, but they don't realize what they're doing. But that's how you get them to learn.
They used to just call me out. Like,
because you got
the
out.
bat.
Oh,
really?
Oh, you threw the bat, and that's what do it. Oh, well, my kid is enjoying baseball. We actually have a game tonight, which we're going to go to, which is great. And since I took the night off, I get to go see it. And my kid loves stealing second base. That's his big thing now, because you can steal bases in his league now. And that's a pretty big deal. It takes one pitch from, kid pitch league that goes a little wild. You're getting second. I mean, it's a freebie basically at that point.
It's almost a freebie if it's not wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
it's
how
true.
hard it is at that age. He's only 9, and man, he's got some kids on his team. They're third graders and they can hit home runs. When did that happen?
Do they have a wall that they're hitting it over, or are they just hitting it far enough that they can make it around?
Wall. There's a wall.
Really?
Like
Hitting
in the
nukes.
fields, yeah.
It's a BB Core bats.
Isn't that something? But now these bats, they got like $300 baseball bats for these kids now.
I almost hate to tell this story because it's a little bit like of a personal story, but I will say that my son, so the last season, my older one, was the first one that he had really played baseball. And he's a tough kid because he plays soccer. He's very aggressive. So he's got that. He's got athleticism, but he hadn't played baseball. And he jumped right in. He skipped all the part where they did the pitching from the coaches. They did the pitching machines to it is the kids pitching and you are starting right now. And so he was doing okay at the very beginning, but then I think he got hit by a pitch probably once and then was just sheepish. And he was the pitchers are so wild.
Yes.
You never know where the ball is going to go. And so it's hard for a kid to judge whether and plus they call a really wide strike zone at that age. It's like below your eyes and it's a strike. But so he was having a really tough time figuring out the rules. Like, should I swing when it's that high? I guess I have to, So he was more banking on, well, if I hold this out, these pitchers are so wild that there's a good probability that I'm going to walk. Right. So it was all strategic. But he got to the point where he was never swinging. And I'm like, dude, you're going to have to learn to play baseball by swinging the bat. So we got into play. We were so down. Our team was just a bunch of rookies, they put all the new kids on one team. Mm-hmm. So they were learning throughout the season. So we get into the playoffs, and I'm thinking, man, if we can just get you to get one hit, just swing the bat and get a hit, that would be so great, even if we don't win the game. So I told him, look, buddy, if you swing, I'll give you $1. You don't even have to hit the ball. But if you swing, I'll give you $1. And he's like, well, what happens if I hit it? And I'm like, well, if you hit it, but it's not fair, I'll give you $2. And he's like, well, what if I get a hit? I'm like, well, then it's $3. Mm-hmm. He's like, okay. So now I'm speaking his love language, apparently.
Money.
Yep.
He's his father's son.
Yeah, exactly. And so he gets up there in his first at bat in the playoffs, and he takes a swing. He didn't hit it. Then he takes another swing, fouls it off. And you can see that it's just cashing out in his mind.
Oh, he's adding up what he can buy with his money.
And so the third swing, he takes a rip and rips it down the line and gets to second base. And we're all like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. We can't believe it. And so this team came together right at the end of the season, and part of it was probably that he started swinging the bat. I mean, it's not entirely him. He's 1 of 9 or 10 or whatever it was. But they actually won that game, and then another, and then another, and another. And they won the championship of their little league, and it was all the kids started swinging at the same time. It was like their learning curve all peaked at exactly that moment.
They're all trying to get that sweet, sweet cash.
That's what
I know,
was.
and you just ruined all of their eligibility for college scholarships by paying them.
They're not amateur.
You know what? I didn't until I told it on the radio, and now it's public record. Now the NCAA knows.
Man, that's what you got to do to motivate kids today. So my son, because he was afraid of getting hit by the ball, so we try to play catch and things, and sometimes he'd be like, I got a ball that maybe like 80% hard. It's still a ball, but it's not as hard as a regular baseball.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if he gets hit by that. And that made him stop fearing all baseballs, which has helped. Instead of paying him for hits and things, you know what I found motivated him? Like if we'd go out and practice, I'd say, okay, we're going to throw the ball back and forth. If we can catch it 10 times without dropping it, I'll let you watch YouTube. Because I hate YouTube for kids, man. The worst content on there for kids. But I said, you know what? If you can do this, I'll let you watch YouTube. Man, he was an all-star after that.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
It was just that, and forget the money. He didn't want that. He wanted access to YouTube. And that ended up working. So we'll see how the game goes tonight. And maybe I'll have to just snap a couple of photos. He's gone to a couple of games. First game, he got a hit on first base, then struck out. Second game, he walked and then stole second. I think made it on third and ran home. Then he was struck out the other time. So we'll see how game 3 goes tonight. Maybe he'll get another hit. Good old baseball. And we do hope the best for the Cardinals. And man, what a nasty, nasty, bad break for their catcher there.
And
left forearm.
Last I heard, they are still hoping to get that game in tonight. Although we're downtown, and I can tell you that it's bright raining. So it's not sunny, but it's not super cloudy, and it's raining hard, but it's like a hard drizzle. I don't know how to describe that, so I can't imagine they'd play right now.
Yep. Another thing, just do this real quickly. Another thing I didn't, because I never think about catchers getting hit by a baseball bat. That just doesn't happen often. Something else I was never worried about until right now. What's with RFK saying they found a dead worm in his brain? What's up with that?
Okay, I saw that headline and read that to Brad this morning, and we both said, "What is the world that we're living in right now?"
Did you even know that was an option? Like that could happen?
They found a dead worm in his brain?
They thought he had a tumor. Like he had an issue where like, I'm getting foggy and I have memory issues. So they go see a bunch of surgeons. And when your last name is Kennedy, you get to see some pretty good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, well, this does not look good. There's something up on the radar. So what did they end up finding out? A dead parasite was in there.
Wow.
And this is yikes moment for his life. Find a dead worm in his brain. Is that something that I need to worry about in the future now?
Yes.
Dead worms?
First of all, yes. And then second.
I don't know. He seems fine.
No, look at this. Look, I read this story this morning, and I just read the headline. I said, Brad, what is this? Because the headline reads, now you explain the story makes a lot more sense. This headline reads, RFK Jr. says parasite ate part of his brain. Now, that is intentionally made to sound like he's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, because the doctor said that it's very unlikely this thing ate part of his brain. That's not likely.
Okay.
But the thing was up there. I mean,
it was there. Yeah, but that's what I mean. There really was a worm in his brain.
How does this? Yeah, but how do they find? I think about. Remember when they said, "Hey, when you fall asleep, like 5 times a year, a spider's going to crawl in your mouth or whatever." That that wasn't true. By the way,
don't fall asleep on the garage floor when it rains.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
The worms come in.
But. But what I'm saying is, I always worried about spiders crawling in my mouth when I'm sleeping, and waking up and there'd be one, in the back of my throat or something. But no, that wasn't really true. That doesn't happen. But now that it happened to RFK and he's got all the money you could ever need and it happened to a rich dude, then what's the likelihood of a worm getting to my brain? It seems like a lot higher now.
I wonder too, though, how much of that is like that fancy rich people food that people, like the average one of us won't get because, we're eating foods that are so jacked up on preservatives that there's nothing in it. And they're like, let's go have this caviar or this sushi.
Plus, we're so rich, let's eat it through our ears.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Wonderful. All right. I have a couple of Wiggins songs to debut on the show after the break. Are you excited to hear these things? Because I'm excited to play them for you, honestly.
Yeah, I
It's
am.
AI Wiggins music coming up. I'm Ryan Ricker, filling in for Annie Fry, 97.1 FM Talk.
My daddy spent his life looking up at the sky.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Clouds up in the city, the weatherman complains. But where I come from, rain is a good thing. Rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey, whiskey makes my baby feel a little frisky.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar. And maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Hey everyone, Boomer Esiason here. The NFL Draft is behind us and your favorite team is now gearing up for week number 1. The free Odyssey app puts you right in the middle of the pro football conversation with the biggest sports radio stations from across the country. The local voices who know your team the best, giving you their unfiltered takes on the current state of your squad. It's always football season on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it today.
Mortgage rates have finally dropped. That's right. Golden Oak has 5.375% fixed rates available right now. Our average cash-out customer saves over $1,000 a month. Call today and take advantage of our 5.375 fixed rate. Call 314-567-GOLD. That's 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.934 APR. FHA 15-year 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600 or on the website bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want to plan you're happy with. You can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Get in your comfort zone with double Carrier Cool Cash rebates up to $4,200 and 0% financing up to 72 months on a new HVAC system. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Keeping you connected and aware. In the world, the country, and the community. And offering more ways than ever to listen conveniently. Tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk or download the Odyssey app.
Remember the words you told me, love me till the day I die. Surrender my everything, 'cause you made me believe you're mine.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Yeah, you used to call me
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
And welcome back. Another segment here with Ryan Recker, Ryan Wiggins, and producer Brad, who hates the Beatles for some reason and wants you to go vote in the YouTube poll right now.
Now, you're saying that I hate the Beatles. That is
You think
not
they're
what I'm saying. I think that they're overrated.
Overrated, right?
Yeah, they could even be good. I just don't think that they are the greatest musical group of history.
Ooh, then what Taylor Swift is then? I mean, who is your number
Well,
one?
here's
if
the
it's not
thing, though.
Beatles?
Here's the thing, though. If you're going to say that the Beatles are the greatest band ever and they're a musical phenomenon, then you have to say the same thing about Taylor Swift because it's the same phenomenon.
No, that's ridiculous.
I wouldn't say that.
No?
That's ridiculous.
No.
Okay, I'll
What,
tell
are they
you a
selling
very
out like people are going crazy, cult-like
tell you this.
following, selling out stadiums,
I'll tell
worldwide
you a
tours.
very simple test. After Taylor Swift's done with music, will her drummer come out with #1 hits?
That's
No.
all four of the band members of Taylor Swift.
I didn't say
go
Taylor
on.
Swift's band was. She
Yeah.
probably doesn't even have the same band members.
Exactly. So
She is.
The drummer had
what I
hits.
said on the break, because we've been talking about this all day, what I said on the break to Brad is, if in 60 years people still think Taylor Swift is one of the greatest artists of all time, then I'll say, okay, fine.
Listen,
But you can't prove that for 60
I can
years,
prove
which
that.
is wonderful
would you
for me.
Would you like me to prove that?
No, because
There's
you
a
can't.
whole bunch of wine moms excited that the Backstreet Boys are out there touring again because they still like the music that they liked whenever they were teenagers. All these
Yeah.
Swifties still love Taylor Swift, and they're still going to love her music whenever they're 60 years down the road.
Dude, the Backstreet Boys now play it like the pageant.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney sells out Enterprise Center for like $1,000 a pop.
Yeah.
So your comparison.
I'm just saying. But the Backstreet Boys never achieved the level that Taylor Swift did.
True. Backstreet Boys did not. Okay, but let's move this to music, and I like talking about music. I found a AI music generator, and I was just curious with it because I've heard that through AI, I've seen some of the things they generate with pictures, with videos, with chats. It is truly remarkable what artificial intelligence has been able to do on the creative side, giving people who don't have the ability to put something together, I mean, graphically, visually, take a photo, whatever it is, but are still able to produce some pretty amazing things with it, using it as a tool in prompting what you have in your imagination and figuring out how to manipulate this to generate what you want. I found that in music, I was shocked how good AI is when it comes to producing music. So I decided to experiment with Ryan Wiggins as the subject of the songs. And I kind of, I made these things. I sent them to Brad and I said, don't play them for Ryan, but I want to have it ready. And full disclosure, here's what I found out. You can have them create an entire song based on what you prompt, but the lyrics were just terrible. Like they're so generic and dumb. I decided to replace the lyrics and kind of manipulate them. So it's not full AI. The lyrics themselves I helped with, but the music and what you hear, everything you hear, the music, the vocals, everything is completely done by a computer based on the lyric prompt that was put in there. And I created 2 songs for you to preview. And Ryan Wiggins is going to hear this for the first time, just like you, the listener, are hearing this. So we have song 1 and song 2. Song 1 is more of a Motown feel which I want to play first for you. And Wiggins, it's only like a minute and a half long, something like that. They're really short clips. But if there's ever a point where you want to pause and comment on something, feel free to do that. You don't have to listen to it its entirety, okay?
Okay.
Okay, are you ready for this? This is AI-generated music. This is Ryan Wiggins' song number 1.
Wiggins, microphone and leggings, big old face that beckons. It's Wiggins, it's Wiggins, Wiggins, Wiggins. Talking news in between, segments on the screen. Big bag of jelly beans. It's Wiggins, jumping on the mic, never learned to ride a bike. We'll dance for life. It's Wiggins, 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 Wiggins. Dropping news in between, segments on the screens. Big bag of jelly beans. It's Wiggins, jumping those in between, segments on the screens. Big bag of jelly beans. It's Wiggins, jumping on the mic. Never
Okay.
learned to ride.
First of all, I think they need
Yeah.
to say my name more in the song. Second,
The Wiggins part was so nice. Okay.
Second, a little clarification here. I'm glad that you had some nice rhymes there, but factually, I'm not a big jelly beans guy.
Okay.
And I think the people need to understand and know that because I love gummy bears. I love pretty much anything gummy.
Okay.
So if you could work gummy into there a little bit more than jelly beans, I'm just it's the accuracy I'm concerned about. The artistic aspect of it, I'm fine. I think that was a beautiful song.
What about the part where it said "never learn to ride a bike"? I don't know. If
I
that
couldn't
was-
tell what some of the lines were. Was that in there? Did you add that one, or was that the AI?
No, I added that in. It's just because I was trying to find something.
Never
to
learned to ride a
rhyme.
bike. Okay.
Yeah. Because I dance for a like, never learned to ride a bike. It was hard to think of
Dance for
something
a
that
like.
rhymed with like. So
is true,
okay,
though.
it was a little hard to understand some of the lyrics, but how blown away are you based on that? It took the lyric prompt and came up with that on its own.
Well, here's what's neat is that I kind of half expected it to be a paint by numbers song where they would just include little things here and there, but a lot of it was the same no matter what. That's clearly not the case.
No.
I mean, when you say my last name over and over and over, I don't think you had that ready to go for other people and then just included it. I mean, it's pretty impressive. It makes me wonder, though, if within 10 years, we just had the writer's strike and the actor's strike and all that stuff. And it was because of AI. Well, part of it. It was that a lot of contract stuff was up all at the same time. But the AI angle got a lot of attention from that strike is because they all realized we're right on the precipice of being replaced by fake actors. And I wonder if within 10 years, as a writer, if I will be replaced easily. But I mean, I'm not getting stuff made, so I really don't care. Replace me if you want, because I'm not getting stuff made. But if I would be able to soon plug in a script that I wrote and it populate an entire episode based on my script.
Oh, yeah.
That's a world I
think
want to
so.
live in because I would have a blast doing that.
Oh,
Although
sure,
everybody
yeah.
else would too. So, the market would be tough. But
either way, I think the exercise here is just to show how far along we are because I've only seen the visual side of what artificial intelligence can do. I didn't realize it was this far ahead when it came to music generation because this is just absolutely, it blew me away because it took longer to write the lyrics than it did to generate that song. So I typed it out and I kind of formatted it a certain way. You press a button, it's there in like 30 seconds. It was like unbelievable how fast. And I kind of had to do different things. You had to massage it, play with it in a way. So those were some of the, I mean, that was one of the better ones. There were some of the ones that were just didn't work out. I did a second song in a different format. This is a country song.
okay.
And it's hard to understand some of the lyrics with it too, but I wanted to give the premise of this song so you kind of understand. So the idea is Ryan Wiggins, Mr. Happy comes into the building and everything is going great. and then he reads the text line and realizes things are not so great, because as soon as you see some of the comments online, it changes your attitude. So that's the premise of this country song.
Oh, by the way, one of those comments, I can't highlight it because it uses a bad word, but it says, I'll say BS, Wiggins eats everything candy.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And
AI
look,
got it right.
And this commenter is correct. I will eat jelly beans. I'm just saying that they're not my go-to. That's all.
Okay,
All
big
right.
bag of jelly beans.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this country song, now keep in mind some of the things they say that are, mean to you. It's from the texters, not me or AI. Okay, let's just put it that way. Okay, this is song 2.
Up the elevator, the coffee is free.
That's not true.
The life of a radio star, everyone loves me.
Well, that's true.
Let me read the text line. I bet they're all from my fans. Wiggins, you're no good. Wiggins, who hurt you? Hashtag do better. Wiggins, you're no good. I think I've seen enough. I'll just turn it off. I know my fans love me. I can hear them now.
It's funny, but it's fiction.
Wiggins, you're no good. No good, no good, no good. No good, no good, no good.
Really putting that point across.
Yeah, they're really getting the point.
Good old country. What do you think so far?
It's pretty. Well, oh my gosh.
All right, country song.
In the words of the song, it's no good. Again, it's inaccurate.
Wait, you think all the texters love you? I've seen the text line.
No. There's a lot of love. They're right. I come up the elevator and I'm like, here we go, free coffee. I'm wrong about that, but all the rest of it, I am. People are commenting. You're right. Like there's a couple of themes. Like the first song, the theme was Wiggins. The second one is no good. You're no good. So I don't know if I approve. I think this has been tinkered with a little bit by the host here too. I'm not giving you a free pass on that, but those are pretty impressive as far as the technology goes.
I'm blown away. So I've tried to get different like models and programs for artificial intelligence on my computer, and I played around with it and have dabbled when it comes to like the local way as opposed to like paying for a website. This makes me want to go full blown into audio and music because I was so blown away by what this site was able to do. It made me wanted to explore this even more, but that was just so easy to put together. And I was just so shocked. I thought, you know what? We need to demonstrate just really how far along this AI is, and the fears that a lot of people have are probably warranted into the way it's going, and the quality is only going to improve. Just like a year ago, it wasn't like this. If it improves twofold, fivefold, tenfold year after year, just imagine where it could go, honestly.
We're right at the precipice of this thing, and everybody knows it. It reminds me of back in the mid-'90s, probably 94, 95 years old, or not 95 years old, 95, when email was brand new. Do you remember making your first email address? And I really, I desperately wish I would have just been like Ryan at Yahoo, because nobody had those things. But they're like, oh no, you got to do like Joe Cool 95 or whatever.
Too cool for you.
Yeah.
so I think we're kind of at that point where it's still such a novelty that, we're doing a radio break on it. Everybody's like, wow, that's incredible. I've never heard anything like that. And within a couple years, it's going to be like, oh yeah, Tom has a song about him because he loves bowling and he likes eating barbecue. Like it's, everybody will just be like, well, we've all done that. We've all seen it. It'll just become common.
You think it'll be common? I mean, it'll just be.
It's already to the point where almost anybody could do it. I mean, you had to tweak it a little bit, I'm sure, but we're already there. It's nobody's used it yet, but
maybe, you know what? If it was common, let's hope that maybe it goes down that route as opposed to full-blown pornography, because that's the major fear with using these like image generators, that it's going to be used for like evil things.
It will be used for pornography.
Well, sure, no, that's like it's already there. I mean, it's not only that, but you talk about the disinformation or in ways to try to like, manipulate politicians into making it look like they said things they didn't or whatever. There's ways that it's used for evil. Let's just hope that maybe it becomes so common that they find a way that you can eliminate that sort of nonsense. And it could be used for more fun things like creating songs about Ryan Wiggins.
Yeah, because right now, if you search Wiggins Hot Ranch, don't do that because AI has already gotten a hold of it. And there are some images out there that I'm not proud of.
What?
They're not real.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the AI is already using my image in pornography. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right?
What are you talking about?
I don't know, but
What
I'm
are you talking
uncomfortable
about?
being in this studio right now.
Hot Ranch.
I don't like that it's happening, but it is.
None of this stuff makes sense. Hold on. What's on the internet about you, Ryan Wiggins?
That's what I'm saying. Don't search Wiggins Hot Ranch.
I'm so confused right now. How could that even be weird? Like, how do you make that weird?
You're asking Ryan how he could make something weird?
How did you make ranch something not child appropriate? If I do a quick search, am I going to get flagged at work if I search the hot ranch?
Yes, you will, so don't.
Oh, please. Oh, no. I don't even want to know how.
That's why I'm such an advocate for people not using that technology in that way, because it's already been abused with my image.
All right. When we come back, the poll results. Are the Beatles overrated? We'll find out who's right and who's wrong. And we'll get to that after the break. One more segment. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Shopping for a home is exciting, but getting a mortgage where you don't have to pay any extra closing costs, no closing costs at all, that's even more exciting because that's thousands of dollars back in your pocket. Reach out to my friend Stewie with the Bagel Loan at Stewart's American Mortgage. It's a local business, and he is one of the top mortgage brokers in the entire country and awarded as such. I trust Stewie with 2 mortgage refinances, both with the Bagel Loan, and I encourage you to talk to him about how your refinance or your initial mortgage purchase on a new home can be done incredibly intelligently by going with a Bagel Loan. You can't go anywhere else and get a Bagel Loan, just with Stewie. And remember, he calls it the Bagel Loan because a bagel looks like a zero and you pay zero in closing costs that other lenders out there are going to charge you for. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Hi, it's Scott and Andrea from Best Buy Flooring with exciting news.
We've joined forces with Carpet for Less to open in South County. To celebrate our grand opening, buy 1 square foot of in-stock hardwood at the low price of $2.99 and get 1 square foot free.
Plus, all of your favorites, a huge selection of vinyl plank, vinyl tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, carpet tile, and carpet, all at low, low prices.
Come see us at our new South County location at 13520 Tesson Ferry Road between 270 and 141.
Visit us anytime at our Hazelwood, Missouri and O'Fallon, Illinois locations, open 7 days a week. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
It's been a crazy weather day. It's mostly moving out of the area right now, but we'll keep you updated. Dave Murray says to keep an eye on it until 9 o'clock tonight. So obviously it's not going anywhere. Stay tuned for not only our updates, but Mark Reardon's as well. The YouTube live chat poll of the day, are the Beatles overrated? This was just an internal conversation that we turned into an external conversation because we wanted you to weigh in. So let us know yes or no.
Yes.
I can tell you this poll is closer than it should be right now as far as I have been told. Type in Annie Fry into the YouTube live chat. Well, into YouTube, and then the live chat poll will come up. 249. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Good afternoon. Looks like one round of storms might be over. Another set about to move in. Dave Murray is going to join us right after 3 o'clock with the very latest on the weather.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Stay with me now. Listen up, it's philosophical. Mud grips, white tip, cigar sticking out of my face, Earnhardt
This is not
racing
AI, I'm
sticker
guessing.
on the window banged up.
Mixed reviews on the AI. I was reading some of the comments during the break. Some people thought it was very funny. Some people thought it was dumb, I guess. But that's part of the one song, reading the text messages. You don't know what you're going to get. I'm going to be filling in for Mark Cox tomorrow morning, and we have Governor Mike Parson on 8:08, which is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And I fill in for Mark on Friday morning, too. So a couple of days in a row getting to fill in here on 97.1 FM Talk. But when it's the Manny Fry Show, I really enjoy this time with you guys. I really do.
Well, I'll try to bring something really great for my hit with Mark Cox Morning Show on Friday, since it'll be you. Normally, I'm
Normally he mails it in.
Yeah.
Calling in, yeah.
Like, I'll just roll out of bed, see what's going on. But for you, I'll bring some material.
Oh, good. So stand up?
No, like news content. I don't like comedy, as you know.
Yes. Oh, do you only like jelly beans? So the poll is on YouTube right now, and if you are watching, if you've already voted, do we have the results? Are the Beatles overrated?
I have results, but I think we should let this poll keep rolling for a little bit longer, give people a chance to vote.
He
but
wants people to catch up with his side is what he wants.
Well, my side might be winning, Ryan.
It's not. Don't worry.
No, not possible.
So I got a couple comments here I can read, though. Chris says, poll, I voted yes. I'm not a big fan of the British invasion until Black Sabbath arrived, but if it was a teenager in the 60s, maybe I'd feel different.
Wow, Black Sabbath.
Jennifer Harris,
breaking
poll.
point.
Yes, I've said this for years.
Brad's highlighting what he wants to highlight.
You darn right I am. Poll, I chose yes, but they did start rock and roll era, which is a great thing. Just not a big fan of their music, so overrated on that front, in my opinion. That's from Russell. DeSoto Mike said, no, the Beatles changed the music and pop culture. Musicians weren't allowed to write and record their own music until the Beatles. I don't know if that's
whatever.
accurate.
Let me read a couple. Scooter says the Beatles, for lack of a better word, are underrated. Diane says no in the poll. I appreciated any talented musicians, love music of all kinds. And Walteria says the Beatles are probably underrated. So there you go for your balance.
There's your balance.
Fair and balanced.
Amy says, who?
Too young to know them. Oh, man. Come on.
That can't be possible.
Just
is that true?
meh.
Do you think there's people that don't know the Beatles? Is that possible?
Yeah, but I think they're all Gen Z.
And that's their fault for not doing any research.
That's their parents' fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Can I tell you, growing up, I didn't listen to the Beatles until I was an adult. I never listened to them as a kid. But
really?
I knew who they were. Yeah.
Oh, I listened to them as a kid.
It wasn't part of my wheelhouse. I mean, I listened to a lot of classic rock in the 90s, the grunge, came in, and I was listening to more what was modern at the time. I didn't listen to a lot of Beatles, and I mean, I might have, maybe could have told you a handful of their songs, but I didn't know their catalog. So,
Man, when I was in junior high, now I'm probably like a year or two older than you guys, I think. When I was in junior high is when grunge was really hitting. And all I had listened to my entire life was the stuff my parents listened to, which was the Beatles, it was Tom Petty, Moody Blues, stuff like that. And so I was really well versed in classic rock. But when I'm 12 or, roughly whatever age you are in 7th grade, I didn't know anything about the new stuff. But here's the thing. There was a girl in my science class named Marnie, and she was super cute. And
totally not made up, right?
No, it's true. This isn't AI.
She's in my class, Marnie.
That's what her name was Girlface.
Marnie.
She was super cute, and I was like, oh man, there's all these other people here, and they're listening to other music that I don't know anything about. And she's like, listen, and she was paying attention to me, which is the main thing. She's like, listen, Ryan, you need to start listening to Soundgarden. And I was like, Soundgarden, eh? I think I can remember that compound word. So I went and bought a Soundgarden CD, and it was another compound word. It was super unknown.
Sure, yeah.
And so I started enjoying the melodies of the Soundgarden, and that was pretty much the end of my relationship with Marnie. I thought it would progress from there, but it did not.
Oh, man, I loved Soundgarden in the 90s. I was a huge fan. And Down on the Upside, I think, came out, and I think it was my third album I owned. The first album I owned, Aerosmith, was Permanent Vacation. First album I bought with my own money. Second I bought with my own money was Nevermind by Nirvana. Third was Soundgarden right after that. Love them.
Man, were you in a CD club, anybody?
Yeah, oh yeah. I paid that penny, and
no.
I got my 12 CDs.
Yeah, and then they locked you in, and then you were like, canceled. Ha I have beat you. As if nobody had thought of that.
All right. I happily paid, $15 a CD at the time was about going rate. So you're just limited to the catalog of whatever service you had. And then, they kind of lock you into buying 10 more. And then when you're done, you're done. It's over. Then, you sign up again for another 15 free or whatever.
All right. I clicked end the poll, and the final results are in with 203 votes. It was 47% yes, the Beatles are overrated. So
are
you guys win.
Yay. Yay.
With
good.
53%.
As it should be.
Beatles are not overrated.
I got to say, I think this says a lot about the listeners of this show's musical taste if they think the Beatles are overrated. 47% say yes. I'm going to insult the listeners here, the 47%, and say...
It's like they're not my listeners. What do I
care?
Yeah.
No, you have homework.
Yeah.
I want you to open up and just listen to one of the last Beatles album.
Oh, those are the worst.
Oh,
listen to
you're
it from
crazy.
start
What
to
are you
finish.
talking about? The White Album and Abbey Road.
Sit down, start to finish, listen to the whole thing, and see if you still agree with that statement. That's
listen to the entire White Album. Now you'll have to sit through a couple stinkers on disc 2.
Oh, here we go.
But man, what an album! It's incredible.
No kidding. Yeah. All right, I am shocked by that. All right, nothing like insulting the listeners on your way out. Huh?
Hey, we love you though.
He's like,
no,
see you next time, suckers.
Don't tune into the Mark Cox Morning Show tomorrow either.
Burning that bridge, yeah. No, I think a lot of people were voting for the shock value. I got to be honest.
I agree.
That's their only reason they would do that.
And Ryan,
they can't be honest with
I
themselves.
imagine you would appreciate that.
No, I do. In this case, I do not.
All right, Mark Cox Morning Show. Tomorrow morning I'll be back. And Mark Reardon next. Thanks for having me on 97.1 FM.
Married the sweetheart. So beat the drum with me.
Shopping at Ruler Foods is one of the smartest things you can do to make sure that you're not spending more money. Like, we're spending more money everywhere we go, aren't we? Grocery bills, they just come in repeat. You got to fill the pantry, you got to fill the fridge and the freezer. In the Fry family, we've got 6 mouths to feed, and one of them is a 14-year-old boy. So that's like times 2, right? Ruler Foods saves the day. When it comes time to shop for fresh produce, to make sure that we can still provide our kids with the healthy foods to keep their growing bodies